Stand up, New York Giant fans. I haven't done one of these in a bit at night. I did a couple of midday shows, but I figured this is the day I could do it. Mets had a day game today. I was free tonight, so I figured I'd pop on. We had a bit of news with the Gano situation. Of course, the New York Giants getting training camp going tomorrow. The pads will be on, so I'm really looking forward to that. Let me make sure I got my live chat up here. But thank you to everybody for being here. Obviously, we'll get in a lot more news as the pads come on. I've seen a lot of news about the secondary. I've seen things about pretty much everybody in that secondary. We'll see how it all plays out. Ballantyne's getting rave reviews. We'll see if he's the guy on the outside. We'll see. Darnay Holmes as well. A lot of these guys are going to get their opportunities. That's where the questions are going to be. We'll talk some Giants football for a bit tonight. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for being the best supporters on YouTube. And, of course, we've got a lot of questions to answer, whether it be the center position, whether it be the right tackle. It looks like Nick Gates could be the center. I'm not going to say definitively, but based off of some of the things that have been said from Mark Colombo, you could read the tea leaves, and he may very well be the center for the New York Giants. And, of course, there's always a number of other positions that we're going to find out as we get into camp. You have the undrafted free agent wide receivers, for example. One, maybe two of those guys will make the team. What's going on, everybody? What's going on, Yvonne? What's going on, Lake Nona? What's going on, David? Thank you, man. I appreciate that. What's going on, Word? What's going on, Joel? What's going on, Edward? Jawad in the chat. I am back. We're talking Giants football. I'm going to be live a lot once the season gets into the fold. Be doing a lot of training camp videos, recapping some of the things that we had to say. It's been dead right now. I'll be the first to say it. We're kind of dormant on the football front, but once the pads come on, there's going to be a lot more to talk about. Position battles, like I said. There's also going to be potential players that we could bring in once other teams cut them from the final 53. That's where maybe the Giants will get a wide receiver or a center or somebody to bolster that defense, possibly at the linebacker position. So there's a lot of possibilities that we got coming up. But I was glad to see that the Giants picked up Gano. That was kind of the big news of the day. I was not very happy that Chandler Cannizzaro, or however you pronounce his name, like I said in the video, I think that's how you pronounce it, was going to be the favorite to be the kicker going into the year. I like that there's competition. I think that Gano has some success in the league. We as Giant fans know that as well as anybody. Hit a 63-yard field goal against us. So right now I'd peg him as the favorite. But we'll wait and see. I still think there's going to be an open competition like I thought when they brought in Cannizzaro. So I don't think it's set in stone. But we'll have to wait and see. What's going on, Shake Money? What's going on, New York Mets, New York Giants, Luann, Word, Jason, New York Sports, MC. When do they have to cut down? I think it's right like a week before the season, maybe 10 days. It's very, very close to when the season begins. That's when you'll have the cut downs. Of course, it's already cut down to 80. A lot of times, if I'm not mistaken, during a normal offseason, they have like two cuts. They cut it from like 90 to like 75, and then 75, I think, to 53, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe they'll just go straight from 80 to 53. I don't know. I don't know exactly how they're going to do it. Or 55. I'm not sure. I've read conflicting reports that they may have 55. They may have 53. I don't know yet. And thank you so much, Benjamin. He says, Sports Expert says Slayton is overrated. What's your opinion on his hot take? I know what Cup Pizzle has to say about that. Slayton deserves respect. Listen, man. Benjamin, first off, hope you're doing well. Thank you for the love and the support. As far as Darius Slayton goes, I've said it countless times. I think Darius Slayton's going to have a big year this year for the New York Giants. I'm all aboard. I think he's going to have between 1,000 and 1,100 yards. Maybe 950 yards, and I think he's going to have at least the 8 touchdowns he had last year. I think he fits the scheme perfectly. He's got great chemistry with Daniel Jones. If you could get Slayton in your fantasy leagues late, especially if it's not a PPR league, I'd go ahead and do it. I don't know if he's going to have a ton of catches because I think he's going to be the big play threat. I see the Giants taking shots down the field with Slayton, but yes, I think he's at least 900 yards at a bare minimum. And you're looking at matching last year's touchdown total of 8. I think he's going to have a really good year for the Giants. I'm really looking forward to it. Roldy, man, thanks so much for the love. I appreciate it. He says, Gano hasn't kicked in 2 years from what I read. It's actually been 1 year. Sabrina, thank you for popping in the stream. Because remember, he hit the 63-yarder against the Giants in 2018. So he kicked in 2018. He didn't kick all of last year. He had a knee injury. He played 12 games the year before that when he had the knee injury. I think he was 14 for 16 that year in 2018, and maybe the 2 misses, which I think happened in the same game. I didn't do enough research on it. I'm almost positive they happened in the same game. Maybe it had something to do with the injury, because I remember it was late in the season when he missed those 2 kicks, because it was after the Giant game. The year before, he was 29 for 30. So, of course, the Giants are going to look at him. They're going to analyze him. And if he's still got something left in the tank, I expect him to be the kicker. Now, of course, they could bring in other guys. This might not be the end of it. Yvonne, man, thanks so much for the love, man. Another phenomenal subscriber of mine. He says, stand up, BFF, you the man. That's right. We root for the same teams, man. Yvonne's always in my streams, always showing support. Glad to see you here, man. Hopefully everybody's having a good night and getting ready for Giants football, man. I'm getting the juices flowing, man. I'm starting to read training camp reports. I know we're a couple weeks out now. What's going on, Andrew Christopher? And it kind of snuck up on me because it wasn't a normal offseason. We don't have any preseason games. You didn't have any mandatory minicamp, OTAs. It kind of snuck up on me. Football's like 3 weeks away. Like, we're going to be playing the Steelers in like 3 weeks, guys. Like, it came up quick. I'm going to be doing preview videos before you know it, and we'll be right into the season, and I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm amped up. I don't know about everybody else. I know that's, it's kind of slow right now just because there's not any huge news, but before you know it, there's going to be a lot to talk about with the New York Giants and the NFL, so I'm looking forward to it, man. What is going on, Brandon? Yeah, I feel like a kid on Christmas, Brandon. It's going to be here before you know it, man. Big Seahawks fan. I know you're amped up. You've got a big season coming up for you guys in the NFC West. I think you guys might overtake the Niners. I think it's close there. You guys had a really good offseason, so look for the Seahawks, who I was riding last year. I was definitely giving it to you guys a bit last year. I think you guys are going to have a good football team this year. You may be going to a Super Bowl. Better not have a preseason. No, okay, there's pros and cons to not having a preseason. Obviously, the pros, like you just said, you're not going to have as many injuries, or at least you don't have to worry about injuries. But with a team as inexperienced as this, with new systems, I think it could have done them good to at least have 2 preseason games. Now, I'm almost positive they're cutting down the preseason from 4 games to 3 next year when they add that extra regular season game. So it'll be 3 instead of 4. I would have liked to have at least 2 to get some chemistry within the offense and the receivers, but it is what it is. Everybody's got to deal with it. Shake Money, man, thank you so much, man, for being a great supporter. He says, thanks to you, I probably know more about the Giants than most casual fans. That's how good your content is. Well, Money, you're friggin' awesome, man. He's a Dolphins fan, but he supports me just as much as anybody else. I forget when you told me that you found my channel. I don't remember. When it was talking about Tua, maybe? I don't remember. But, or Kyler Murray, was it? But, yeah, man, you've been with me for a long time now. You always show me a lot of support. You always watch my videos. Can't say thank you enough for everything you do for my channel. And listen, man, Dolphins fans probably pretty excited, too. We were talking about the Seahawks. I'm not on the Dolphins bandwagon. I don't think you guys are going to go to the playoffs or anything like that. But at least you're going into the year with some hope. I mean, last year you definitely exceeded expectations. You brought in a ton of free agents. You got Tua. So it's an exciting year for the Dolphins. Even if you guys don't make the playoffs, you're starting to see a changing of the guard. So I'm sure you're excited as well. What's going on there, Goat Quan? What's going on, Sam, man? Thanks for... Yeah, I was in the hub stream. That's why I pushed this back. I was going to start at 8:30. I didn't know. I saw the hub started at 8. I was in there. I'm like, you know what? I don't want to go live and take anybody from their stream if I don't have to. So I said I'll push it back 20 minutes, but I can't go that late. I got to get some sleep, guys. I was up last night on Bad Dog stream late, so that's why I pushed it back 20 minutes. I didn't want to take away from hub stream. I appreciate that, Nona, man. Thank you so much for being here. I'm a Steelers fan, Chris. Steelers are an interesting team, Ethan. You know, you're going 8-8 at least. It's science. It's science. The Steelers always go 8-8 or better. Only 7 times ever have you guys been under 500 since the merger. So I expect you guys to be pretty good this year. I don't think you're a Super Bowl contender, but you definitely could make the playoffs. What's going on, sports expert, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, my man. What's going on, Yuri? The bubble will make us better than y'all think. I'm interested to hear your theory on that, Royal Money. What makes you think the bubble's an advantage for the Giants as opposed to other teams? I'm interested to hear your theory on that. It seems like Joe Judge is organized, I'll say that, but from what I'm seeing on Hard Knocks, I finally watched the full episode, they look pretty organized as well out there in LA, and it gives me some encouragement that we may actually get a full season. I know that we're going to start. There's too much money behind it. They're investing too much money in the testing protocols, everything else. We're going to have a season, at least begin. We'll see if we're able to carry it out. As far as college football goes, I read a report today about college, and I heard it on ESPN a couple of days ago, that they're going to have like a spring season, or that they're proposing that with the Big Ten. They're out of their mind. What football player is going to sign up to play spring football and then play NFL football a month later with no recuperation? You're telling me you're going to get drafted and then play college football? Doesn't add up to me. I don't see the Big Ten having college football this year, or the Pac-12. We'll see what the SEC does. What's going on there, Jarvis Juice, man? Thanks for popping in. Joshua says, what do you think of getting rid of Sterling Shepard, and what do you think he is worth if that was ever the case? I believe he is expendable. Okay, what do I think we could get for him? I mean, at this point in time, not a whole lot. I mean, he's got a pretty, hefty contract. I think he's making about $10 or $11 million a year. I don't remember the exact figures off the top of my head. I think he's got another 3 years left on that deal, if I'm not mistaken. And he's coming off a year in which he had, 2 more concussions? I mean, 2 or 3 more concussions last year. I don't see him having much trade value. That's the thing, man. You don't sell when players are low. And at this point in time, both him and Ingram are low. Ingram's coming off another injury. I think those guys, if you're going to trade them, you trade them in season. They have to be performing well and prove that they're healthy. I don't see them trading anybody right now really on this roster until the trade deadline. And then, you'll trade the players that are playing well if you're out of it, if you're looking to acquire draft picks. And, the players I've talked about in the past are positions of strength, interior defensive line. Maybe the biggest strength on our defense, right, in terms of depth. As well as Ingram or Shepard are potential. Golden Tate's another one. I don't know how much value he'd have. I think he's got another 2 years left on that deal, but you'd be able to get out after the following year. So, yeah, I mean, I could see players getting traded, but don't expect it till right around the trade deadline, and that's if the Giants are completely out of it, and if those players are healthy and playing well. Let's see what we got here. Shepard is pretty good. Shepard is good. The problem with him is he just doesn't stay healthy. He's a well-rounded wide receiver. You can put him in the slot. You can pop him outside. He's a tough receiver, really good blocker. I'm a fan of Shepard when he's on the field. The guy's had double-digit concussions. That's the problem between college and the NFL. What is going on, Lloyd, man? I'm glad to see Lloyd in the chat, man. Lloyd is friggin' awesome, man. Thank you so much for being here, man. I really appreciate that. All the way from Mexico, man. Been a phenomenal supporter of mine. And I hope I get to have you back on the channel once I have subscribers back on, once we're in season. I'm going to do that once a week where I get, I video in subscribers. We'll have a panel of 4 or 5, whatever it may be. He was on the first one of those when I did an edited video, or second one rather. So hopefully I have him back on. And Benjamin, thanks so much for love. I appreciate it. I need sports more now than ever. Need to get my mind off everything that has happened in the... Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. Who do you think has the best record this season out of the Rams, Steelers, or Browns? Good question, Benjamin. Here's something. I know you're a Rams fan. I like the Rams more than most. A lot of people are super down on the Rams. Here's the issue with the Rams. They play in the NFC West. Tough division. You got 2 of the best teams in the NFC in that division. I think the Rams are better than people are giving them credit for. I still have a lot of respect for McVay. I think Goff could definitely bounce back. I feel like he's being overhated. I don't think he's a great quarterback, but I think he's better than some people are giving him credit for. That all being said, out of those 3 teams, I still think the Rams maybe win 6, 7, 8 games just because of the division they play in. The Steelers, I got around 8, 9, maybe 10. And the Browns, I actually think the Browns are going to have a good year. And last year, I was down on the Browns. You check any one of my videos on my channel, I ragged on the Browns last year. I said they were the most overrated, overhyped team in the sport. And I was partially right. I think they went 7-9. This year, I'm on the Browns bandwagon. This year, I think the Browns are going to be a 10-win team. 10, 11 wins. I like what they did in the offseason. They addressed the offensive line. It's going to come down to Baker Mayfield, but I'm buying the Browns low. I think that they do have a good year. I'm on the Browns bandwagon. Let's see what we got here. Gano adds, what's that? Do you think OBJ... I'm just talking about some of the recent things today. The Giants signed Graham Gano. The pads are coming on this week. So just saying some of the news for the day. OBJ is going to want to come to the Giants anytime soon. What do you predict the Bears' record to be? Okay, the Bears' record. I think the Bears' record, I think they're going to hover around between 6, 7, 8, maybe 9 wins. I do think the Bears can make the playoffs. I think the NFC North is wide open, like I say all the time. The Bears or Lions wouldn't shock me if they win that division. I don't think the Packers are nearly as good as their record indicated last year, and I don't think they did much to improve. They only got a year older. Not to mention you might have some tension there with the whole draft pick of the quarterback, Jordan Love. I still favor the Packers, but I do think that division is wide open. For the Bears, it's going to come down to the quarterback play. Whoever that may be, whether that's... did I lose your super chat? I think I lost it. But yeah, I answered most of it. But yeah, I forgot what your second question was. But yeah, I think the Bears will have a good year this year. You asked about Odell Beckham. No, I don't think Odell Beckham's coming back to the New York Giants, at least not anytime soon. Joe Judge has come in. He's expressed culture. They're not bringing him back. Not to mention Dave Gettleman just traded him away. We still have the same general manager. Now, if they move on from Gettleman in the future, maybe it's possible. Not anytime soon. I don't see OBJ coming back. No. But thanks for love, man. I appreciate it. Roldy, man, he says, guys, as a Giants fans, we need to pump the brakes. I'm seeing fans saying we're going to win 8, 9, or top game, 10 games, I'm assuming you said. And being optimistic, but we are a team that won 7 or 8 games in the last 3 years. Yeah, we won 12 games over the last 3 years, which is on average 4 games. That's bad. And yeah, Roldy, I'm with you, man. I'm trying to temper expectations. I don't want people to get I don't want people's expectations to be too high because I know what happens when that happens. People are going to come down on the coach. They're going to come down on the GM. They're going to say this team was supposed to win 10, 9, 10, 11 games. Going in, yeah, of course, it could happen. It's football. I keep saying that. Anything could happen, right? But we can't set ourselves up for failure. We got to realize this is a rebuilding team. This is a team in a not a normal offseason. They're dealing with a lot of factors here with a young coaching staff, 2 new systems. It takes time to adjust. Could it happen? Yes, because a lot of teams are dealing with a lot of unfamiliarity, but I'm not banking on it this year. I do think we're going to be a much improved team, though. We might win 6 games, but you're going to see us fight every week. I don't see us getting blown out many games. I think the Giants are going to compete this year, and I think by 2021, you're going to see this team really ready to do some damage. I really believe that. But I'm not going to sell you unicorns and rainbows and tell you that I think we're a 10, 11 win team. I'm not going to do it. I want to do it. My heart is telling me do it, but I'm not going to do it. Thrill, man, thanks so much for love. I appreciate it. He says, what's up, man? Just showing some love. Keep up the great work. Thrill, man, I just want to say, man, thank you for being such a great supporter. I see you comment on my videos. I see you in my streams. And go New York Giants, man. Thank you for being here, buddy. Next one, Waterfly says, my sister's doing well. Obviously, probably not a lot of people heard. I was going to do the Met game, so anybody that's a Met fan, I apologize. I told you guys I was going to do the Met game. My sister's car, unfortunately, got broken into. So that's what happened there. So there you have it. Yeah, so that she's fine, though. Nothing bad. I don't think they stole any valuables. They smashed the window, and everything else is cool. But, yeah, I had to drive her back to Brooklyn, so that's what happened there. But I appreciate you for asking, man. Payback Carter. What's going on, my man? Payback Carter is the freaking man. Even though you're a Cowboys fan, I'll let you slide. No, he's been a great supporter of my channel. Used to be in that Twitter group chat with you guys. I'll definitely pop back in there soon. Maybe around the NBA draft. Talk Knicks with you guys. Love all you guys. You guys are great. I don't have the time. I don't have the time with all the work I put in on my YouTube channel, and I try to stay away from social media when I'm not on it myself, filming videos and live as much as I can. I try to support people, but I try to have a life as well off YouTube. But he says, how about them Cowboys? Best D-line in the NFL. Look, I don't know if it's the best, but I'm going to tell you what. I was honest in my video. I know you watched it. I saw you comment. I think the Cowboys have had a terrific offseason. I think it was a great pickup for you guys. You basically replaced Robert Quinn and got just as good of a player. And it's only a 1-year contract. Everson Griffin is a good fit there. He's a 4-3 defensive lineman. I love the fit for the Cowboys. I don't love it as a Giants fan, but I think it's a really good fit from just from a football analyst perspective, I guess. I think it was a good pickup. You guys brought in 2 really good established interior defensive linemen. You guys are up there in age in terms of a defensive line. There's not a lot of youth there, but for this year, for a win-now team, yeah, I like your defensive line a lot, actually. Benjamin, thank you so much for love. He says, did you not learn from draft day? Every time they get predicted to do well, they go 0-16. That's true. That's true. Listen, man, the Browns last year, everybody was on the bandwagon. And I'm not jumping on the... I don't even know if there is a bandwagon this year. I feel like there's not as much Brown love in comparison to last year. But I am about it, man. I love what they did this year. They brought in 2 really good tackles. They've shored up that offensive line. They bring in one of the best tight ends in the market. There's no excuses for Mayfield this year. If the Browns don't win at least 9 games this year, Baker Mayfield's got to be replaced. Unless there's injuries. But he's got more weapons than anybody. Not to mention they got a ton of talent on defense. If the Browns don't win at least 8 games this year, I'm convinced that there is a Cleveland curse. But thanks for love, man. I appreciate it. John Letourneau in the house. He says, stand up, the entertainer. You're the best, my friend. I could sum the Giants up very quickly. They stay. Oh, God. And with the Eagles chant. See, that was an easy Eagles-Giants NFC title. We're going to get you soon, man. We're going to get you soon. We owe you guys, John. We owe you guys a beating. Because the last, the last 6 times we played you guys, we could have won 4. And you won all 6. We owe you guys a beating. And when the tide turns, John, it's going to be for a while. I mean, that's the way it works, man. It goes in ebbs and flows. Giants are coming, buddy. Giants are coming. I hope you enjoy that negative $50 million in cap space in 2021, my man. I'm just playing with you, John, man. Thanks for being here. Manuel, man, thanks for love. I appreciate it. He says, thoughts on Peppers moving to the cornerback 2 and Holmes and McKinney as the safeties. News article said Judge knew him coming out of high school as a high-ranking corner. I'm open to it. I made a video on that 3 days ago. Is that as a possibility? I was reading on that. I'm open to it. You saw Byron Jones. Byron Jones did the same thing. I believe he came in as a corner, went to a safety, went back to corner. It's not like it's unprecedented. He's not fleet of foot. It's not something I'm rooting for, okay? I want him to stay in his natural position, which is the safety spot. But in certain packages, do I want him to be the full-time corner? No. I don't think that's the Giants' best advantage because even if it improves the corner spot, you're weakening the safety. So, and I like Pepper's versatility. But because of his versatility, I think they'll move him around. I think he'll play a little bit in the middle linebacker. I think they'll rush him off the edge at times. I think they're going to move him around. But in a pinch, is it good? Why not? Why not give him a look on the outside corner? But I still think it'll be Love or Ballantyne unless they bring somebody else in, if you ask me right now. But we'll see what happens with Darnay Holmes. I guess we'll see what happens with Peppers at training camp. We're going to hear a lot more things as it gets going since they're putting the pads on tomorrow. And like I said, as I receive word of what's going on, I'll have videos up and I'll definitely give my opinion on what's going on. But Emmanuel, man, thanks so much for being here. And thank you to everybody for being here. Love all you guys. You know that. Thank you guys for hitting the thumbs up. Thank you for being great subscribers. Anybody that donated, you guys blow me away. Thank you guys so much. Thank you to everybody that supports the channel, watches my videos, hits the thumbs up. I wanted to pop on, wanted to talk Giants. Quite frankly, I want to get my mind off the Mets. I mean, the Mets are killing me. They lose again today. But I'm excited for training camp. I've been waiting for this for a long time. And hopefully we surprise some people this year, including myself. What up, Fabi, man? Thanks for popping in the stream. I see Pumpkins in the chat. What's going on, my man? All right. Let's talk the chat. Chris, who do you think will have the best record out of the Browns, Steelers, and Cardinals? Same answer. Browns. Browns. I'm not a big believer in the Cardinals. The Cardinals are, I've talked about this in the past, the Cardinals are my Cleveland Browns of 2019. I thought that the Cleveland Browns were the most overhyped team going into the 2019 season. I now think the Arizona Cardinals are the most overhyped team going into the 2020 season. That's not to say that the Cardinals might not win like 7 or 8 games. They could. I don't see them going to the playoffs. I think the NFC West is loaded. Kyler Murray is talented. They definitely brought in a weapon with Hopkins. The defense is still questionable. They still have a dog shit offensive line. Period. End of story. I don't see them doing it. I don't believe in them. I don't think they're a 10, 11 win team. I know some people are all about it. I'm not. I'm not one of those people. And maybe I'll look like a fool. What's going on, Aiden, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. Thank you to everybody for being here. If you haven't done so, please hit that thumbs up. And I see Giants Alliance is in the chat. Giants Alliance got a YouTube channel over there. Always like to show him support. He's been on the channel before as well. Go check him out. Cardinals, great quarterback and wide receiver. Garbage O-line and med. Yeah, exactly, Brendan. That's my thought process. I don't see... And the NFC West is just too difficult. I just don't think they're as good as the Seahawks or the Niners. And I think the Rams are on par with them, to be honest with you. I think the Rams are pretty close to them. Tana, have you taken a look at Parsons? Perfect fit for... yes, I have. Not an extensive look, but I've seen highlight clips. I've read some things that people have had to say about him. Out of Penn State, we got some familiarity there. Our D-line coach is from Penn State, so I'm sure we got a little bit of intel on him. But, yeah, Parsons is supposed to be the best middle linebacker prospect coming up in this year's draft. He already said he's going to sit out this year, so he won't be able to hurt or help his stock going into the 2021 draft. But, yeah, I would love Parsons. I've talked about that. People have asked me, it's all dependent on where we're picking, but he's one of the guys, he's probably my favorite guy for us to draft if we're picking in the right spot, because I do think we need a supreme linebacker. Haven't had one in forever. I like Martinez, but the guy is not very versatile. He's not great in coverage. I would love to get Parsons, to be completely honest with you. I still think cornerback's a possibility, even though I know Giant fans don't want to hear that. But we'll see. I think an edge rusher, of course, Rousseau's another name we throw out there. If they're picking high enough, who knows? Maybe that offensive lineman that everybody's raving about they take. Who knows? We don't know who we're going to take. We got to wait till the draft gets here. But I think defense is where my head is right now, where I want them to go in that first round. John, man, thanks so much for love. He says, I feel sorry for you, but not the Mets. Go Phillies. Yeah, you should be excited, man. You just beat the crap out of the Mets. You got yourself back in the race. I think you're now 8-9, so you guys are basically 500 again, and the Phillies got a hell of a lineup. So if you get that pitching together, you guys could do some damage. Let's see what we got here. Jamar Chase season. Yeah, a lot of Giants fans want Jamar Chase. We'll see. I think I'd rather address the wide receiver in free agency, depending on how much money we have and depending on who's available out there. And again, these questions are way too difficult to answer right now because if Darius Slayton takes off, he has 1,300 yards, we're probably not taking a wide receiver in the first round. So a lot of it's dependent on, how the players on our roster play this year. Conley, who knows? Maybe Conley's that guy. I'm not banking on it, but he could be. Maybe he's that guy. Maybe we don't need a guy like Parsons. So got to wait and see what Carter gives us on the edge, Zimenez, and then we'll determine what our biggest needs are. And like I said, corner could be a need as well. A lot of questions need to be answered this year before we can get into the draft talk. Let's see what we got here. Thank you guys for being here, man. Can Valentine make the jump? Listen, Donatello, man. I'm excited, man, when I read some of the things I had to read. I'm not going to read too much into it until the pads come on. And here's the other thing I'm going to say. Last year, we all bought into it a little bit, myself included. Not to say that I thought he was going to be great day one. I didn't think he's going to be starting day one. But I thought he had upside. And in fairness to Valentine, he went to a D3 school. He was a 6th-round pick. The Giants threw him into the fire. He wasn't ready to go. Not to mention they were playing him in a position he never played at. He's playing slot corner. He's definitely got the physical attributes, which is what the Giants drafted him on in the 6th round. He's fast. He seems to be a smart kid, hard worker. We'll see. He's a guy I'm definitely rooting for. Of course, you had the comeback story the day after he got drafted. I'm rooting for him. We'll see how he performs in camp. Me, personally, I prefer Valentine to win that job if he's good, if he could do it. Because then you get to keep Julian Love and Darnay Holmes where we want to keep him. And maybe Valentine's not a long-term answer, but he could be a guy that mans the fort for a year. Or maybe he is. Maybe he is that long-term answer. We'll see. We'll see how it all plays out in camp. But it sounds like he's definitely got an opportunity for sure. Yeah, he was bad. Yeah, he got killed in the slot. I think it was against the Bears, card coach. The Bears were moving I think it was Allen Robinson, who was their number one wide receiver. They were putting him in the slot every time. They were taking advantage of Valentine. Let's see what we got here. Evan Ingram will be our breakout player this year. Royal, if he could stay healthy, I agree. I've talked about that. If Ingram could stay healthy this year, Jason Witten's had 4 1,000-yard seasons, all 6 in 6 years under Jason Garrett. Those were all 4 of his 1,000-yard seasons. This is definitely a system that's going to implement the tight end, and Ingram should benefit from it. The guy's a mismatch nightmare. So I agree with you. I think Ingram is going to have close to 1,000 yards, maybe more, if in fact he does play a full 16 games. He's yet to do that throughout his entire career. But if he stays healthy, I agree. I think he's going to have a big year statistically. The Giants can have the best secondary in the division. I'm not going to agree with that, Joshua. Now, I know I said that in a video about a month ago, but that was based on the opinion that we were going to have DeAndre Baker, and I was of the mindset that DeAndre Baker was going to take a big leap this year. I can't put those same expectations on Valentine, and if you move Love over there, that hurts where Love was going to be. So I'm not going to say that, but I do think the Giants do definitely have some young talent in that secondary. I'm excited to see the safeties this year, and it's a bright part of the future. We still may need to invest in another corner, depending on what we get from our guys this year. But yeah, I'm not going to go that far this year, but it's definitely improving, and I'm excited to see what they can do this year for sure. Let's see. Leonard Williams sucks, Ethan says. Leonard Williams sucks, Ethan Edge says. Well, the money that we're paying him sucks. I agree with you there. What we traded for him sucks. I'll agree with you there. I don't think Leonard Williams, the player, sucks. Am I glad he's on the Giants? No, because to be honest with you, I would have rather kept what we gave up to get him and not be paying him $16.5 million. But he's on the team, and I think he can help the team. I don't think he's a bad player. I think he's a good player. I just think he's overpaid. And I think he will assist in getting some sacks. He'll definitely draw some pressure up the middle. You saw that the run defense improved while he was here, but I don't think he's in the long-term plans for the Giants. And if he is, well, the Giants are going to have to overpay, and I don't want them to. I don't think he's worth what Leonard Williams thinks he's worth. But at the end of the day, I don't think a team's going to pay him what he thinks he's worth. So we'll see how it all plays out after this year. I don't think Leo sucks, but he's definitely overpaid, and he wasn't worth that trade. I'll agree with you there. Let's see what we got here. Okay, good night, all crazy peeps, the 420 crew, and of course, the entertainer, not afraid to say I need sleep. You were in a 24-hour stream yesterday. Get some sleep, Waterfly. You friggin' lunatic. Thanks for being here, my man. Let's see what we got here. What's going on there, Flickers Gaming? Sup, Dana? Sorry I haven't been on the streams lately. I had my birthday in late. Well, happy birthday. Never apologize for not being in the streams. I appreciate you for being here. He says, and some other events, but now I'm back, baby. Do you think Parrott starts over Fleming? There's a great question. No. And I've seen, I think it was on Twitter, I think it was on Instagram, people on ESPN talking about how Matt Parrott might be the starting right tackle for the New York Giants this year. I don't see it. And maybe I'm wrong. This is a coaching staff that has come out and has said that we're going to let the best man get the job. And maybe Matt Parrott will be that guy, but everything that I've read, everything that I've heard about Matt Parrott, he's a developmental project with a lot of upside. He's coming from a small school out of UConn, and I don't see the Giants starting 2 rookie tackles for a second-year quarterback learning a new system in a shortened offseason. I just don't see it. without preseason games. I think Fleming will be the starting right tackle. If you ask me, maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe it will be Barrett, but I would prefer Barrett to be on the bench at least to start the year. But if he's the guy, he's the guy. We're going to roll with it, man. And I'm excited for Barrett, though. I think he's definitely got a lot of upside. I think he was a great pick at 99. I think the Giants got a steal. I just don't know if he's ready to start day one. Blue Collar, man, thanks for the love. I appreciate it. Tana, are the rumors true that you're going to ESPN? And in your expert analysis, what 5 quarterbacks are on the verge of being replaced if they have a bad season? Great question. The second question is a great question. The first question, no, those rumors have been dispelled. I saw it on ESPN. They were reporting on it. They said the guy on YouTube who's always drinking coffee that's ice cold because it takes some minutes to get to it, who talks about the Giants with the Barkley jersey on that he must never wash, who wears that weird-looking Knicks hat, is headed to ESPN. I will dispel those rumors now. It's not happening. As far as the 5 quarterbacks that are on the verge of being replaced if they have a bad season. Okay, the 5 quarterbacks that are on the verge of being replaced if they have a bad season. What's going on, Bigger Mike? Thanks for popping in. 5 quarterbacks. Sam Darnold, am I willing to go that far yet? If he has a bad season. I'll say he's on the verge of being replaced if he has a bad season. I'll say Baker Mayfield is on the verge of being replaced if he has a bad season. Phillip Rivers, he's old. I'm not even going to go there. I'm trying to think of other quarterbacks. Third-year quarterbacks. Second-year quarterbacks. Haskins. I'll go Haskins. I'll go Darnold. I'll go Mayfield. It depends on how bad of a season. I'll go Minshew, just because I think the Jaguars could be so bad they could get the number 1 pick. So I'll go those 4. And I'm trying to think of number 5. Who could be number 5? Maybe Stafford. I like Stafford. I like the Lions this year, but maybe Stafford. The Lions could definitely draft a quarterback in the following year's draft. I could see them moving on from him soon as well. So I'll go with those 5 guys. If they have bad seasons, they could be replaced. So there you go. Dak Prescott's a good one, Michael Judge. There you go. How did I forget about Dak? Good call, Michael Judge. Thanks for being here, man. Carr's another good one. Jimmy G's a possibility as well. But here's the thing with Jimmy G. They went to a Super Bowl. They went like 4-12 or whatever it was. I think it was even worse the year that he didn't play. I don't think he'd be replaced. I think he fits that scheme pretty well. I wouldn't bank on that. Let's see what we got here. I feel like one of our top 5 acquisitions is Mark Colombo, if not top 3. What do you think is our top acquisition? Well, if you're talking coaching staff, man, I love our whole staff for the most part, man. Patrick Graham's the guy I'm a little wary of just because he doesn't have a lot of experience. But I like a lot of our acquisitions on the coaching staff. I talk about it all the time. Garrett, I think it's a good fit. I think Garrett's a good fit as an OC. Colombo, Burton Burns, I really like. Shoplinski, I really like. Bielema, ton of experience coaching in college. He's our outside linebackers coach. I really like. Coach Chaos, I really like. Henderson's really good as the DB's coach. He was the guy that coached up Revis early on in his career. I love our coaching staff, and we'll see if it results in wins, but I think we definitely have a very good coaching staff. In terms of the offseason acquisitions, I mean, Bradbury was our prime acquisition in free agency. And in the draft, I mean, I love Andrew Thomas, man. I love it. I love AT. I love McKinney. I love Darnay Holmes. I liked our draft a lot. I think we had a really good offseason, man. I'm not going to tell you it was perfect, but it was pretty close to what I wanted. You watch my channel, man. They did exactly what I said. I said they're gonna spend on short-term contracts. That's what they need to do. That's what they did. They filled in the cornerback hole. That's what I wanted them to do in free agency. I didn't get, I may not have hit on the names, and then in the draft I said have heavy offensive line. Hogs. That's what they did. 3 out of the first 5 picks. So if you're asking me, I think they had a great offseason. And I love the coaching staff that Joe Judge brought in. So I'm excited for the future. Do I know if it'll translate to the present? I can't tell you that. But I can tell you I'm very excited for the future of this football team. Thoughts on the Giants signed off on... Yeah, CJ Board. I did a little research on CJ Board. I didn't do a ton. Guy, I don't think he's going to make the team. I'd be surprised. He's been cut by a few teams. I don't think he has any game experience, if I'm not mistaken. He's been in the league for 2 years, I think. I think he's 6'2". We'll see. They got a number of undrafted free agents that are trying out for that spot. I saw that they already cut the guy I did a video on a couple of days ago. That seems to be what the Giants have been doing lately. Yeah, there's a number. There's like 6 guys competing for 1 or 2 spots. He's one of them. Do I think he's the favorite? No. I think Benjamin Victor is probably still the favorite. But there's a number of guys that could take that spot. He's one of them. Show me the Hogs. That's right, my man. I love the Hogs. You know that, man. Hey, Chris, what's up? Big Daddy Nate. What's going on, Big Daddy Nate? Thanks for popping the stream. Andy Garcia is in the chat. What's going on? New York Mets says, Kid Thomas and McKinney are going to be studs. You watch. Listen, I'm all about those first 2 picks. And all the Isaiah Simmons fans, I think that eased their minds. I think a lot of them probably were going to cry about taking a tackle, but then when we got McKinney, they were like, all right. We got the top tackle, or one of the top tackles, depending on how you evaluated it, and we still got a very versatile piece that could cover. You could move him around. So I think people were very happy overall with the Giants' first 2 picks. I didn't see many people complaining about the first 2 picks, and I didn't see many people complaining about Barrett either. I think I saw 1 or 2 YouTubers complaining about that. I laughed. I said, how could you be complaining about a guy that people had going in the late 2nd round with all the upside that Matt Barrett has? You know what I'm saying? He didn't even go in the 3rd round. He went 99th overall. That's basically a 4th round pick. He was a comp pick. And Darnay Holmes. I mean, come on. The Giants had a great draft. Who deserves the most blame for the Giants' struggles for the last decade? You want my honest opinion? Jerry Reese. And a lot of old school Giant fans may not want to hear me throwing Mara's name under the bus. And I love John Mara. He seems like a class guy, great owner historically, the Mara family. I don't like the way John Mara handled things. I don't like that he fired Coughlin and he didn't fire Reese. So if you're asking me who put us in this situation, I think Mara's just as much to blame as anybody. And Reese. I mean, the poor drafting for 7 years. I mean, that's going to put you in a hole. So I think it's a combination of Reese and Mara is what put us in the situation that we have to dig out of. That's just my honest opinion. And when you didn't fire Reese, you had a GM that was trying to save his job. He spent all that money. He put us in cap hell, and we're still coming out of it. So that's my honest opinion, man. Let's see what we got here. Call me crazy. I'd rather us have Antoine Winfield than McKinney. I still love McKinney, though. Antoine Winfield and McKinney. I still love McKinney, though. Yeah, listen. I like McKinney a lot. Some people were definitely on the Antoine Winfield train. Brett Coleman was. I talked to him. I think there was another safety he really liked, too. He was more of a traditional center fielder. I get it, but I definitely think McKinney fits this scheme very well. His versatility, his ability to play in the box, play off the edge. I think he's a better fit for the scheme, but Winfield may be a better, I guess, center fielder. But you kind of have that with Julian Love, potentially. Let's see what we got here. Oh, Dolan's much worse. Dolan's the worst owner in sports as far as I'm concerned. He's up there. My other 2 teams, the Knicks and the Mets, have the 2 worst owners in sports. Or definitely in the top 5. Dolan and the Coupons, Wilpon, they're horrible. Mara looks great compared to them. What's going on there, Patrick Hughes? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. Chris, I already answered that. Let's see what we got here. I wanted Grant Elpin instead of McKinney, but I'd be happy with either one. Jake says, Chris, you heard it here first. Sam Howell, the UNC quarterback, will be a Heisman finalist this season if we have a college football season or next season. Well, I know you live down there, so maybe that's your guy. Maybe you root for that team. We'll see. I'll have to do some research on him, Jake. Man, thanks for being here, buddy. Let's see what we got here. Not to mention the ownership's impatience with Gettleman saying they need improvement. Well, that's another thing, Dyer. And nothing's happened with that yet. But you don't like hearing ownership come out and, say, basically, and to Gettleman's credit, he didn't bite on it. But, basically saying, you better win some games this year or you're gone. You could think about that in your head, but you don't want your GM to be operating the way that Reese did in 2017. Because look what happened, or 2016, because look what happens. You can't build a team in one offseason. You can't do it. Not if you want to build it the right way. I'm high as hell on McKinney. I think he's going to be... I like McKinney a lot, man. Mara's just impatient because he's tired of having losing seasons. That's why he fired Tom. I wasn't even against the firing of Tom Coughlin. I wasn't for it. I wasn't like in front of my TV going, oh, yeah, we fired Coughlin. I didn't think it was Coughlin's fault. I thought it was Reese's fault. Coughlin didn't have the talent. Then Reese went out there and he picked up all the defensive players. But I understood at the time there needed to be change, right? It was losing season after losing season, disappointment after disappointment. They needed to shake it up. I understood that. But if you were going to shake it up, you had to shake up the whole thing. You couldn't shake one and not the other. You had to blow it up. Anybody with a brain knew that Reese was more responsible than Coughlin was for putting us where we did, and that put us in a bigger hole when they kept Reese on and they fired Coughlin. So I'm not crying that they fired Coughlin. I think they should have done it all or just fired Reese. So that's my opinion. Let's see what we got here. I'm high on Ballantyne's athletic ability. Yeah, Ballantine is a really good athlete. That was the book on him coming out of college. really good athlete, ran a really good 40 time. It's why the Giants took a flyer on him. And we'll see, listen, man, we'll see. He's definitely a guy with a lot of potential. Haven't seen it on the football field yet, though. And I'm not going to get super excited until I start to see it. But I'm rooting for him. He's a guy you want to root for. I'm definitely rooting for him to do some damage this year. There's no doubt about it. But I am excited for football, and I see that you guys are too. We're hovering over 300 tonight. You guys are phenomenal. Thank you guys for being here. We're going to have football, like I said, in like 3 weeks. And we'll be doing a ton of live streams. We'll be doing a ton of videos. I'll be having subscribers on the channel. We'll be doing game recaps, everything else. So I'm really looking forward to covering the Giants this year. And hopefully we get some smiles on our face this year. And we start to at least see that the Giants are turning a corner and we're getting out of the dumpster. Stand up. What's going on, Edisons? Who do you think will buy the Mets? Cohen. I'm hoping anyway. I hope it's Cohen. He's been rumored. I know he's a partial owner, but I'm hoping that he's the main owner. MMKG says, let's go. Ryan says, we need a starting corner. I don't like Bradbury to take over 16 games by himself. Well, Bradbury's our number one. You mean on the opposite side? Yeah, I would have preferred them to bring in a veteran. They still might. People have talked about when they get down to 53 on other teams, maybe the Giants pick somebody up that way. I can't remember the guy's name. Maybe somebody in the chat could say it. I always forget it. I did a video on it like 2 months ago. They picked up the guy from the Dolphins, who Patrick Graham picked up the previous season. He was an undrafted free agent. The Dolphins picked him up right away immediately. He was the first undrafted free agent they picked up. He played limited action with the Dolphins last year, and then the Giants picked him up this year. So he's a guy that Graham probably feels fits his system. He's brought him now in on two separate teams. Maybe he could compete for the job. I forgot his name, but there's another guy to throw in the hat. Press one of Miles Sanders. That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous, Mike. That's ridiculous. Yeah, Hardage. That's his name. Hardage. Montre Hardage. That's his name. Yeah, Montre Hardage. That's right, man. Yeah, the Mets, Big Bang, man. The Mets destroyed my week. They destroyed my baseball life. I said I should have picked the Yankees, but I love my Mets. Victor Mack and Dillon should be the guys we keep. I don't think we're keeping 3. They're not going with 8 receivers. You might keep 2, because you're not going with more than 7 receivers on a roster, and I think you already got 5. You got the 3 starters that we all know about: Shepard, Slayton, and Tate. And then you got Cody Core, obviously going to be on the team for special teams purposes. And then you got Corey Coleman. So I don't think you're getting 3 undrafted free agent wide receivers. You might get 2. Last year we only carried 6 on the roster. So if we carry 6, you're only getting 1. If we push it to 7, you'll get 2. So it all depends on how they evaluate the roster and, where they want to take a spot off, if they want to bring on an additional wide receiver. Blue Collar, man, thanks so much for love. I appreciate it. He says, is it possible we have 99 linebackers that are so sub? Well, Blue Collar, that's what happens. That's what happens when you draft, 6 linebackers in the last 2 rounds or whatever it was. And, we didn't have great linebackers to begin with. I think Martinez is at least a decent linebacker. I'm not going to say he's a superstar. I'm not going to just read the back of his football card and tell you that, because of his tackles, he's a great player. I think he's an adequate middle linebacker. We'll see what we got with the outside with Carter, Zimenez, Fackrell. In terms of the middle, we'll see. I'm hoping Conley stands out, but yeah, we brought in a ton of guys. I think they're here more for special teams purposes than anything else. Carter Coughlin's the guy that I've talked about. Also the guy from Penn State, Cam Brown. He's another guy, maybe if he puts on a little bit of weight, could be a guy that does some damage in the future. I don't expect much this year, though. But thanks for love. I appreciate it. Johnny Morawski, man, thanks so much for love. He says, I'm putting my poker money together to buy the Mets and make you the voice of the Mets. LOL. Flying back to the East Coast for 5 months. Vegas is dead. It's a ghost town. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. You make your living on the poker tables, and you can't play right now. Maybe you can, but you don't have nearly the amount of people that would normally play. That sucks, man. Hopefully you can at least play online or something like that, Johnny, man. I hope you're doing well. I know you recovered and everything, so I'm glad to hear you're healthy. And, man, get back to the East Coast, man. Maybe we'll grab a beer once this is over. Johnny, man, thanks for love. I appreciate it. And Roldy, man, thanks for love. He says, what if DJ turns out to not be our franchise quarterback, which I hope he is. But what if he realizes this season he isn't the guy? It's a great question. And it depends where we're picking, Roldy. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we're picking at the top of the draft and DJ sucks this year, or he regresses, or he stays the same and he fumbles 18 times, and you see him making the same mistakes, or maybe even gets worse, you got to think about Trevor Lawrence. He's a generational talent. Do I think that's going to happen? No. I mean, I really don't. Daniel Jones, to me, definitely showed, and I was skeptical of the pick. Everybody knows that. I'm trying to be fair. I'm not trying to be overbiased. You'll go on some, I'm not even just talking YouTube, just Giants fans in general. Some Giants fans will tell you he's already a top 10 quarterback. They'll tell you he's the savior. I don't believe that. I'm a proof in the pudding type guy. I want to see him produce and evolve before I'm willing to give him that. But I think I saw enough last year to believe that he can do that. He's capable of being the franchise quarterback. The question is, can he fix the problems that we saw? And with the improved pieces around him, I think he can, and I think he will. I really do believe that. I love the kid's work ethic. Seems to be a great leader on and off the field. I think he's got the tools to get it done. We got to see it, though. I got to see it to believe it. I could think something, I could predict something, but I'm not going to tell you it's going to happen until I start to see it. Obviously, he played great down the stretch last year, but it was against the Redskins, the 5-touchdown game, the Jets, the 4-touchdown game. But we'll see. I do think he's going to be good this year, though. I really do believe that. It may take a couple of weeks because of the new system, the new scheme, everything else. And they're playing really good defenses to start the year. So we got to be a little patient there. But yeah, if we were picking first overall, Trevor Lawrence is possible. I'm not going to tell you he's not. I'm not going to lie to you. But thanks for the love. I appreciate it. Gettleman isn't great during trades or free agency, but drafting-wise, he makes me tingle. I think he makes everybody tingle the way he drafts, which is why the Giants are ranked second on ESPN of teams under the age of 25. 25 or under, I think it was, because of the last three drafts. I mean, do the math. You get drafted usually at 21, 22. Giants ranked the third best team. Why is that? Well, it's because, one, they've been drafted very early, let's be fair. Two, they had a plethora of picks, but Gettleman's definitely done a good job in terms of evaluating talent in the draft, which is exactly what we needed when we brought him in. And, yeah, some of the other stuff you could definitely get on him for, but some of the things that people don't talk about. Every Giant fan seems to love Nick Gates, and I'm not saying he's going to be the savior, but I've been talking to Giant fans about Nick Gates for a long time. Everybody's saying this guy's got talent. This guy needs to start on the line. Nick Gates was an undrafted free agent. You're going to bash Gettleman for making these minor signings that he misses on. You got to praise him for signings like that. So, yeah, he's got misses and he's got some hits, just like most GMs. But some of his trades are definitely eye-popping. I don't understand them. I'll be the first to tell you. He's definitely made some mistakes, but I think overall he's done a good job in terms of drafting young talent. Sticky Fingers, man, thanks so much for love. I appreciate it. He says, stand up. You seen Big Blue's views portrait of a coach article on Judge. Shows the players' coaching staff view of Judge. Impressive quotes. I did not. I'll have to take a look at that. I did not. But I did hear some of the interviews about what some of the coaches had to say about Judge. I talked about it in one of my videos. Jason Garrett said that he's learning a lot. He's got the notepad out all the time. He's really impressed with Judge's work ethic. A number of other coaches said very similar things. So, yeah, it seems like there's a lot of cohesion with this coaching staff. The other thing that I thought was interesting, I didn't talk about it on my channel. I think I retweeted it on Twitter. A lot of Giants fans got on Bielema. Remember that? When Bielema was looking for other jobs after he got the hire with the Giants. Well, to be fair to Bielema came out, Judge confirmed it. The only reason Bielema was looking for those positions was because Judge told him to. Judge said, I want you to have your opportunity to go out and get a job. You're, basically saying you're worthy of it. So if you feel like you could go get it, I want you to go get it. So he told him to do it. And that's why Bielema was going in for interviews. Bielema, it's not like he wasn't, being trustworthy to the Giants. He was being told by the head coach to go out and pursue those opportunities. So that's what that was about. I wanted to talk about that. Mark Colombo's interview gave me a lot. Yeah, Nate, I'm a big fan of Colombo, man. I watched that interview too, and I know you're a Hog Molly guy just like me. So, yes. Do I miss the hell out of Emmanuel Mudiay? Emmanuel Mudiay, my God, was he bad? But no, I do not. The Knicks got the three biggest busts at the point guard position, and they had them all on the roster at the same time over the last 4 or 5 drafts. You had Trey Burke, you had Emmanuel Mudiay, and you had Frank Ntilikina. Ntilikina I actually don't hate. I think Ntilikina could develop into a decent role player for the New York Knicks. I don't ever think he's going to be a great point guard. I don't hate him, though. But, yeah. Oh, God, Mudiay was bad. Jawad with the pigs. I appreciate that. You know I love the Hogs. Corey Coleman and Carter Coughlin, my 2 sleepers, Big Daddy Nate says. We'll see. I mean, I'm interested. Another camp battle that I haven't really talked a lot about is the kick returner. Javon Leak seems to be a great kick returner from everything that you've heard about. Well, at Maryland, Corey Coleman, we saw it with the Giants. He got it done. They've got a number of guys that may be that kick returner, so that'll be an interesting battle as well. If Leak makes the team, good chance he's returning kicks, but that's what Coleman excelled with the Giants just 2 years ago. So he could definitely have an impact in that aspect. Jason Garrett is packing 9 inches. So what's up, Stealth, my man? The Knicks haven't had a good point guard since I came out of the womb. Yeah. I mean, Derek Harper was good, but he was like 90. And he had the knee pads on. You had Mark Jackson came back at the end. I didn't get to see him the first time here with the Knicks, but Jason Kidd was good for a year, but again, he was like 90. Jeremy Lin was good for like 20 games. Let's see what we got here. Coleman should be the returner. I think Coleman will be the returner. I think he's the favorite. If we draft a corner next year, who do you take? Patrick Surtain Jr. or Asante Samuel? Both fathers played in the. Surtain seems to be the favorite. I haven't done a ton of research on either prospect, to be completely honest with you. I've seen highlights more so of Surtain. A number of my subscribers have said you got to check this guy out. Seems to be a great prospect. But it depends again where we're picking, and what we view as our biggest need. And we'll see. We'll see how the second cornerback plays out. We'll see how the edge rushers play. We'll see how the wide receivers play, the linebacker, everything else. But yeah, both those, a cornerback is definitely a possibility. I know Giant fans don't want to hear that, but it's definitely a possibility in the first round of next year's draft, depending where we're picking. Grim, man, thanks for the love. I appreciate it. Did you hear that Jordan Ryan said on his new podcast about what he's hearing about the position battle? Some interesting stuff. I did not. I'll have to check that out. I do follow Jordan on Twitter, which is where I actually got the Graham Gano news today. I do follow him on Twitter. I do not listen to his podcast, but I'll have to check that out about the position battles. I'm sure I'm going to be, that'll start leaking once they start putting the pads on. There'll be a lot of news on the Giants website, everything else. I'm expecting something will come out tomorrow. I'll definitely talk about it like I did last year. I did updates every day, and I'll give my opinion on some of the things that I hear. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to starting to hear how these position battles are shaping up, where they're playing these individuals on the line, on defense, everything else, what positions they're playing them at. And like I said, we'll definitely get some news out probably around 1 o'clock tomorrow. If I remember correctly, that's usually when they came out last year, and I'll have that video up as soon as I can. Highly doubt that, Chris. I don't know what you're talking about. Chaz Surratt, you want Surratt in the second round, Nate? Chris, starting kicker. I mean, George, it's going to be whoever performs better in camp, and we don't know if Gano's fully recovered from his injury. He's coming off a knee injury. But, if you ask me right now, I'd say Gano's the favorite if he's healthy. I'm sure the Giants are going to evaluate him. I'm sure the physical, the COVID, everything else. But if Gano's healthy, I'd say he's the favorite. The guy went to a Pro Bowl 3 years ago. And he was a good kicker in 2018 before he went down. He made a 63-yarder against us. Last year he was out the entire season. But, yeah, I would say Gano's the favorite right now if you ask me. But, again, it's all dependent on his health as well. Rudy, man, thanks so much for love, man. Rudy is the man. He says, big shout out to my favorite YouTuber and fans. Listen, man, Rudy, man, you guys are what make my channel what it is, man. I always say I want you guys to feel like this is your channel just as much as it is mine. I love my Giants family. I love all you guys. Rudy's a huge part of it. He's been supporting my channel since damn near day one. So I always try to shout out Rudy whenever he comes in. He's friggin' awesome. Great guy. And thank you for being here, Rudy. Hope you're doing well, my man. Independent outsider in the house. He says, of all the cornerbacks in next year's draft, who do you think is most likely to rob a... Who do you think is most likely to rob a poker game? I'm confident that's who Gano will pick. Good job, sir. Yeah, independent. Yeah. You're right. That's the Giants' luck. That's Gettleman's luck. He'll draft somebody and they'll end up robbing a casino. Hopefully that's not the case. But yeah, just really bad luck for the New York Giants this offseason with DeAndre Baker. Could have never predicted that. His off-the-season stuff before he got drafted, I get that with the falling asleep in meetings. I've been fair with that. I said you could attack Gettleman for that. I can't get on Gettleman for doing what Baker's being accused of doing. We don't know if he did it yet, but yeah, that's a pretty funny joke there. Let's see what we got here. What's going on, Gary? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. What's going on there, Max Major, man? Thanks for popping in, man. What is going on, JG, man, in the building? What's up, my man? Chris, thoughts on what Kitchens is doing to this tight end core? George, he's got a lot of experience coaching tight ends. He coached with the Cardinals. He had at least 2 or 3 different stops coaching, being a tight ends coach in the NFL. And it was for a number of years, like 6 years, 6, 7 years coaching in the NFL, coaching tight ends. I'm not too worried about it. And he was known to be a pretty good tight ends coach, which is why he moved up the ranks. I see no problems there. And like I said earlier, I think Garrett's system is definitely going to lend towards the tight ends. I think Kitchens is fine as a tight end, and he's got familiarity with Judge. They're like best friends. He helped him build I think it was Judge, or I don't remember if it was Kitchen helped Judge or Judge helped Kitchens. One of them helped the other one's kids build a swing set. So they're definitely very close, and I like that. I like that the coaches have chemistry, and because to me, that means two things. That means they're probably going to work well together, and it means they're probably going to want to keep working together. You know what I'm saying? If you're at a job and you like your boss, unless obviously you're going to get a huge promotion, but I don't think Freddie Kitchens is getting a huge promotion within the next couple of years, you're usually going to want to stay there. And I talk about it all the time. I talk about having familiarity, I don't want to have constant change with the GMs, with the coaches, everything else. So I think that's good. And I'm excited to see how this coaching staff works together. Yeah, Freddie's trusted by Judge. Nate says, sign Allen Robinson and Patrick Peterson, draft Rousseau in the first, Serrata in the second, center in the third. If not Rousseau, then Parsons in the first, Edge in the second. I mean, it's a great plan. Nate, if we get it done, you're in, man. I'm in. You go out there, and it depends on the length of the contract, because I don't know how old Peterson is off the top of my head. I don't know if I want to sign him to a 4 or 5 year deal. But Allen Robinson, we talked about it earlier today. He's 26. I'm all aboard. I mean, depending on how much you got to pay the guy. But, yeah, he's definitely an accomplished wide receiver. I'd be completely for that. It gives you the freedom to go out there and definitely focus on the defense in the draft. So I'm all about it, man. I have a good feeling about Caden Smith. I like Caden Smith a lot, Giants Alliance. And I've seen some people talk about drop problems. I think the guy had 2 drops. He had 2 drops. And he had really good chemistry with Daniel Jones. Really good blocker. I like Caden Smith, man. I'm a fan of Caden Smith. I think he's a big part of the future for the New York Giants. But we'll see, And people talk about, if you trade Evan Ingram, can Caden Smith be the number 1? Maybe, maybe not. But if he's not, you could always go out and draft another tight end. It's not the end of the world. You get value at tight end in the 3rd, the 4th round. A lot of the best tight ends in the league. George Kittle. Hiccups, hold on. George Kittle was a 5th round pick. You can find value at that position. Let's see what we got here. Hey, Chris, how much will Saquon cost us to keep when he becomes a restricted free agent? A lot of that depends on the cap. There's no way I could tell you what the cap's going to be because it depends. The cap is predicated on what you do the previous season. This season, the NFL's revenue is not going to be like a normal season. There's going to be limited fans. I saw that the Cowboys are going to try to have some fans. Regardless, it's not going to be a normal revenue. So the cap will either probably freeze or go down. So if that's the case, if it freezes, I don't really think the cap's going to go down. I'd be surprised because that means players are going to be losing jobs. You're going to have to cut players that make a lot of money based on the new cap. So I think it'll probably freeze. So I don't think Saquon will get a much bigger... And of course, it all depends on if Saquon produces this year. But if Saquon has a big year, which we all expect, I definitely expect that, I think he'll get McCaffrey-type money. Maybe a little bit more, but right around that. And I can't remember what McCaffrey got. I think it was about $16 million a year over 4 years. Maybe Saquon gets 17, 18. But if the cap's not going up, Saquon's not going to get $20 million. So it all depends on everything else. And maybe Saquon won't want an extension. You know what I'm saying? Like if the cap freezes and Saquon sees that the cap's going to go up in 2 years, he might say, no, I'm going to ride out the rookie deal, and then I'll sign the extension when the cap goes up because I'll get more. So, I can't answer that yet because I don't know what's going to happen with the cap, with everything that's going on. The stream is not synced up. Well, Wenz, I apologize. I'm trying to get to the questions when I get to them. Yeah, I don't know why that's the case, but when I see him, I answer him. Christian-type money would be rare. Like I said, if he balls out, he's going to get Christian-type money. That's what happens when you hit the open market. If you're one of the better players, you get paid as if you're the best. Come on, people. It's 350. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, if you haven't done so, please spike that like, subscribe, ring the bell. Let's get the likes up to 200. I appreciate it. What's going on, Big Oso? My man. He says, what's going on, brother? I don't know anything about football, so I'm giving you a like. Well, also, hopefully you learn a little something. Maybe you get into football a little bit. I know you're a huge Met fan, Knick fan. I'll definitely be streaming the NBA draft lottery, which is, I think, the 20th. So hopefully we get to celebrate together there for our New York Knicks. Tana, what do you think about R.J. Barrett and Mitchell Robinson? I know it's not Knicks related, but what do you think about them? I'll tell you what I think about them, Flickers Gaming. Real quick. I was talking to Bad Dog 2 weeks ago. And if you haven't done so, check out Bad Dog. And we were talking about sports cards because he invests in cards. Well, today I invested in Mitchell Robinson. I bought 12 rookie cards off eBay. So I think Mitchell Robinson is going to be really good. There's your answer. I bought 12 prisms off of eBay of Mitchell Robinson. I like the investment. I think he's going to get a lot better. I think both those players are a bright part of the future for the New York Knicks. There's your answer. Maybe try to refresh or go out and back in. Okay, I'll try that. Hold on. Now, that may work for a little bit. David Lopez says, Tana, who would you take in the draft? Penei Sewell, Rousseau, Parsons, or Surtain? Oh, man, it's too hard. I mean, right now, without knowing how the players on the team are going to perform this year, I would probably go with Parsons. Maybe Rousseau. Right now, but I don't know how the players on our roster are going to perform this year. I don't know what our biggest need is going to be going into after free agency and after the players perform. You know, if Conley balls out, maybe we don't need a linebacker. You know what I'm saying? So right now, I would really like a linebacker. I really would. But hopefully it's synced up. I did go back out, back in. Didn't look like the chat changed much. Sticky says, do we really think that Ballantyne can be a capable starter cornerback too? Probably not. I'm not going to sell false hope. But we'll see. If they feel like he is, we got to ride it out. We got to see. Riley, man, thanks. Got to go, man. Omkar, man, thank you so much for being here, man. Riley says, what's up, Chris? Do you think that Peppers has earned a new contract after? Also, how do you feel about the new kicker, Gano? Well, no. Peppers has not earned a new contract yet. The guy's only played 11 games as a Giant. He got hurt. I do think it was smart for the Giants to sign him on the extension on the rookie deal just because of the price tag. It wasn't all that much money. I think that it was smart. It was cost effective. But no, he's definitely not earned an extension yet. I think he's got to go out there. He's got to produce. He's got to prove he can stay healthy. And then maybe you give him the money. But if he plays really well, expect him to want Landon Collins type money. And maybe the New York Giants will give that to him. Maybe they won't. But I don't think he's proven that yet. As far as Gano, I like Gano, man. I mean, he's better than what we had. He's better than Cannizzaro or whatever. I mean, and well, we'll see. They're going to compete against one another. But if Gano's healthy, the guy's proven he's at least an adequate kicker. And at the point that we're in right now, that's about all you could ask for. You're getting the scrap. You're getting guys that are free agents for a reason. And Gano's a proven kicker. The reason he's out there is because of an injury. So we'll see if he's fully recovered in training camp. And if he is, well, yeah. I mean, the guy's made some kicks. So I'm definitely on board with it. Let's see. This is a team who got rid of OBJ. Let's see what we got here. Question. If Garrett leaves and we hire some from within, what does it mean for the offense? Do we keep the foundation of the Air Coryell offense, or do we completely change it if Garrett leaves? Love the streams. Big fan. Mets fan. Danny Dimes, a Chipotle dope guy. I appreciate that, Ewick. If Garrett leaves, I mean, I think the Giants are going to try to keep familiarity. I don't like changing offensive systems 3 times in the first 3 years. I really don't think Garrett's going to leave. I think Garrett will be here for 2 years. I really believe that. And it's possible he could. Like, if Daniel Jones blows up this year, it's possible that he could. I would hope if they change systems, it would be a similar system. You wouldn't want to screw the kid up too much. But, there's no way I could answer that. I mean, at the end of the day, if Garrett gets offered a head coaching position at the right spot, he's probably going to take it. And that's part of what happens in the NFL. But I'm not expecting that to happen this year. I'm really not. I don't think Garrett's going to get offered a head coaching job after just 1 year. People have been ragging on him for 5, 6, 7 years, blaming him for the Cowboys' struggles as a head coach. I think he's got to reestablish himself as a coordinator before he gets that opportunity. So I think Garrett's here for 2 years at a minimum. I could be wrong, but that's my opinion. Let's see what we got here. Why did we cut Gano, and why did we cut... We didn't cut Gano. Gano's on the Giants. We just picked him up. Let's see what we got here. Should the Knicks keep... Sabrina says, was not talking to you. Oh, you were telling... Oh, okay. Oh, okay, Sabrina, yeah. Should the Knicks keep tanking until we get a superstar in the draft? Another Knicks question. Yes. I answer that all the time. If the Knicks sign a free agent this offseason period, they're stupid. Of any significance, they're stupid. You shouldn't be trying... At this point in time, let the young guys develop. It's not going to help the team if we get the 8th seed and get demolished. We need to continue to get high draft picks, hit on those draft picks, and that is when the big fish will come here. So I am not in favor of bringing in impact players. It's a weak free agency period. The Knicks should not be doing that. Yes. Hey, Chris, got to go. Have a good night. YouTube flickers. The Giants have won all 3 Super Bowls on the Earhart-Perkins system. I really hope Garrett can still coach as an offense. Dear God, I think he can, Ryan. I really do. I wouldn't tell you if I didn't feel that way. The guy got a lot out of 2 unknown quarterbacks when they first came into the league. Tony Romo, Dak Prescott. Neither one had any expectations. He did a pretty good job. as a play caller, the Cowboys routinely ranked in the top 5, top 6, top 7 in total offense. I believe in Jason Garrett. I think he's going to do a good job as the OC. I wouldn't be a fan of him as the head coach, but as the offensive coordinator, I'm a big fan. I think he's going to do a great job for the New York Giants. What's going on there, DeGondre, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, and there's my Instagram. You can follow it there. I appreciate it. Nate says, if the Mets keep sucking as bad as they are, they are not going to compete with this core. Would you blow it up? The Mets? No, I'm not blowing it up after 1 year. It's only a 60-game season. Their second and third starters are both out. No, I still think the Mets have a lot of good young talent. I think it's just bad luck this year with all the injuries, particularly with the starting pitching. I think they still have a couple more years where you could try to build around this core. The entire Panthers defense went to the NFC. Yes, they did. The Giants got a ton of them. and that's I knew that was the first thing I was going to read when we pick up Graham Gano. Oh, another Panther. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't care where these guys come from. You know, I heard that with the Cowboys, too. We were bringing a lot of former Cowboys. Oh, another Cowboy. If they're good players, I don't care where they came from, if they could help the team. James Bradbury's a good player. You're going to get on the Giants because he's a former Panther? I mean, he's a good player. He's a top 15 corner in the league. So, whatever. It is what it is. What's going on there, Jeffrey? Thanks for popping in the stream. What's going on, Chad? Cespedes literally yeah, Cespedes. Ugh. What's going on, DeGondre, man? Thanks for popping in the stream. What is going on, sports influencer, man? But go ahead and ask your questions, man. I'll definitely try to answer as many as I can, as well as I can. But again, man, while I'm waiting on some questions, I just want to say again, thank you to all you guys. Like I was saying throughout the stream, I'm gonna have a ton of video content up in the coming weeks. I'll definitely have a lot of streams going forward once we start getting a lot more news on the New York Giants. I'm not gonna be doing. I told a bunch of the people in my Discord last year I did a lot of like streams, you know, play-by-play for the Thursday night game, Sunday night game, Monday night game. I'm going to tell you all right now, you're not going to see a lot of those from me this year. You're going to see a lot of Giants. I'm going to be doing a lot of Giants live streaming throughout the week. I'll have the Talking Giants show. I'll have a Q&A at least once a week. I'll be doing an NFC East thing. I'm going to be doing a lot of Giants stuff. Having subscribers on the channel once a week. I'm going to be focusing Giants. I may have a Thursday night stream. Maybe I do a game if it's a good game, something like that. But it's going to be Giants, guys. That's going to be the channel this football season. Do you think Shane Lemieux is potentially a starter by week 8? Anything's possible. More than likely, no, because I don't see him cracking the guard, which is his natural position. And if Gates is the center, and I think they believe in him, they gave him the extension. I don't think they're going to pull Gates unless he's playing horribly. And even then, Lemieux's never played the position. So I don't, unless there's an injury, which obviously we're not hoping for. I think Lemieux's going to sit and learn this year, at least till, further till the end of the season. Let's see what we got here. Do you think Derek Dillon, Benjamin Victor, and Austin Mack will make the roster? Do I think that Derek Dillon, Benjamin Victor, and Austin Mack will make the roster? Not all three. No chance. They're not taking 3 undrafted free agent wide receivers. Not happening. Maybe 2. 2 at the most. 2 at the absolute most. It will be a lot of fun to talk about the Giants. Yeah, I'm gonna do live streams probably after the game. That's probably what I'll do. Like not the first week because we play Monday night, but in a normal week on a Sunday, I'll stream the Giants game. I'll have my post-game video. I'll eat my dinner, and I'll come back and we'll talk about the game. That's probably what I'll do. Rather than doing a Sunday night stream, we'll talk Giants for 2 hours after the fact. Recap the game, talk about some of the things we liked, some of the things we didn't, and we'll do that for sure. That'll probably be the routine, Sabrina. If there was one free agent that the Giants could sign, who would it be? Nate C says, I'd have to look at the free agency wire. If it was up to me, I would want an edge rusher. I would want a supreme edge rusher. And, and there's no way, Nate, I'm going to know who's going to be getting franchise tagged, who's going to be getting extended. But I can tell you some of the names. You got Yannick Ngakoue, you got Shaq Barrett, you got Matt Judon, you got there's a bunch. There's a couple. You got Ingram from the Chargers. There's a number of guys. If it was me, and we're going to spend big next year, knowing that there's not a supreme edge rusher in the draft, outside of possibly Rousseau, it's a thin edge rusher draft, I would want to get one of those supreme edge rushers if they feel like they have the money to go out and do it. That would be my want right now in free agency. Independent Outsider, man, thanks so much for the love. He says, any college conferences actually playing football? Nothing's confirmed yet. But as of now, it seems as if the SEC is going to try to play. A number of conferences haven't opted out. 2 of the Big 5 have. The Pac-12 and the Big 10. We'll see. I mean, it's definitely not going to be a normal college season. I think you're going to see a number of players probably not play. I'd be surprised if Trevor Lawrence plays, to be completely honest with you. If you're Trevor Lawrence, I'm shocked he hasn't opted out yet. And I know he's got pride. Maybe he wants to win a Heisman, whatever. But if you're Trevor Lawrence, you're going to be the number 1 pick no matter what. What is this guy coming in and... Oh, you wrote, hey, man. Yeah, guys, if you're going to come in, don't write, hey, man, a million times. You're just going to get blocked. Don't do it. I'll try to see your comment. There's a lot of people in here. Just don't do it. I don't want anybody getting blocked. Just don't do it. But what was I going to say? Yeah, if you're Lawrence, you have an excuse now not to play. You know you're going to be the number 1 pick anyway. Why are you going to risk all that money to play football? Even if you don't think that it's that big of a deal, which some people may not, why are you going to risk it? You could say, oh, yeah, well, the COVID, I'm not playing. He's going to sit out. He's going to be the number 1 pick. I don't see the reasoning for players like him to play. It's a perfect excuse. Teams are still going to take you at the top of the draft. I don't know, but we'll see. What's going on, D. Coop, man? Thanks for popping into the stream, man. Nick Morgan, man, I really appreciate that. He says, you suck. Thank you. I appreciate that, Nick Morgan. Yeah, do you want me to just say your name? Because I don't know. I don't get people. You know you're just going to get blocked when you do it. So you suck. We could do this all night. You suck. You suck. You suck. You suck. You come on my YouTube channel and say you suck. Okay. Goodbye. See ya. Capiche. Malik says, DJ gonna get hate no matter what this season. If he does good, they'll see it due to lack of offseason. But if he doesn't, he won't get the same excuse. DJ's gonna get hate no matter what this offseason. If he does good, they'll see due to lack of an offseason. I mean, listen, Malik, I say it all the time, man. And Malik, man, phenomenal subscriber of mine. Thank you for the love, man. I really appreciate it. When you play in New York, when you're the New York Giants quarterback, you're going to be scrutinized. Eli Manning was scrutinized for years as the New York Giants quarterback. The year after he won the Super Bowl, people were on him. Daniel Jones better get used to it. And I think the Giants drafted him due in large part to they felt like he could handle it. He seems like an even-keeled kid, a guy that could deal with the pressures of New York. So I'm not too worried about it, but he's definitely going to have to deal with it. There's no doubt about it, whether he's great or whether he's not. Fans get on you in New York. They're not patient. They're going to want instant results. And if he could be playing great, if he has a 2-game stretch where he's not playing well, people are going to get on him. That's just the way it is. That's the way it is. Unfortunately, that's the way New York fans are. Are you streaming the Mets game tomorrow again? I don't know, Jason. I don't know. We'll see. I don't want to guarantee it. The Mets have been playing pretty bad. And it's hard to stream those games when you have a team that bad. But we'll see. Maybe I will. I haven't decided yet. My sister's doing well in New York for life. Thank you for asking, man. Everything went well there. I know this is a Giants channel, but do you think Teddy will do good in Carolina? I don't. I just had to get some water. I'll talk about Bridgewater in a second. I think Teddy Bridgewater is overpaid. And I think it's a classic example of a quarterback that was put in a perfect situation, got an opportunity to play, played great, but when you go to Carolina, you're not going to have that. You're not got I don't think people realize it because everybody, when they think the Saints, they think quarterback, they think Drew Brees, they think Michael Thomas. The New Orleans Saints have like the best offensive line in the sport for the last 3 years. So Teddy stepped in. He had the best offensive line. He had one of the best running backs. He had the best wide receiver. He had more weapons than you could know what to do with, and he won games. Do I think he's going to do that in Carolina? No. But I understand the signing. It's a hold me over. I think it was a 3-year deal, $21 million a year. They could probably get out of it after 2. He's not the long-term answer there. Carolina knows they're not going to be very good. I definitely could see them drafting a quarterback next year. I don't view him as the long-term answer. I could be wrong. Maybe he goes out there and surprises me. Definitely could be wrong. We'll see. I always thought he was overrated. When people were saying he was great with Minnesota, I looked at him like, what are you talking about? I know that they made the playoffs. He had like 19 touchdowns and 17 picks. His best year in the NFL. I was never a huge Bridgewater fan. But we'll see. Ian, man, thanks so much for love. He says, finally got Saquon in fantasy draft, SA2K. Listen, guys, if you're in my fantasy league and I have the... Dude, Bridgewater was great. Nate, that's where we disagree. Look at the numbers. How was Bridgewater great? How was he great? He had I think he had 2 more touchdowns than interceptions his best year with the Vikings. How was he great? It's like a myth to me. I never thought he was great. Now, I'm not telling you he had great weapons. He won some games. He made the playoffs. He was never great. It was never great. And he says, but yeah, if I have the first pick in fantasy, I'm taking Saquon Barkley. What's the plan with fantasy football? Brooke says, I'll have to figure it out, man. I can't have 20 people in a fantasy league. So I got to figure that out with the members. And I'm going to get your hat tonight, probably after the stream. I'm going to get you a Giants hat. But I got to figure that out. Maybe I'll do a daily league. Pick'em seems much more organized when you have that many people. But we'll see. I'll have to figure it out, man. I'll leave it up to you guys. Let's see what we got here. Not great, could be good. Yeah, he could be decent. Let's see. Lake Nona, man, thanks popping the Instagram. Bridgewater was good under a good system and support. He was decent. Chris, you ever think that DJ could have thrown 32 touchdowns if he played all 16 games and was on pace? Yeah, I mean, he was on pace to. He had 24 touchdowns in 12 games. So sure, he could have thrown 30 plus. He probably would have. Yeah, and the funny thing is only 4 quarterbacks last year threw 30 touchdowns. Jones would have been one of the 5 had he done it. Yeah, I do think he could have. But if we're being fair, and I always try to be fair, Daniel Jones threw a ton of passes. The Giants almost never ran the ball. They ran the ball 34% of the time last year. We got to get better at evening that out. We got to be much closer to 50-50, which is why I'm not buying so much into Daniel Jones having a phenomenal statistical year. I think the Giants are going to try to become more balanced. Last year, they were completely off balance. They threw the ball 66%. They ran it 34% because they were always behind in games. They had a bad offensive line. Barkley was hurt. They couldn't establish the run. I look for Jones to have 28 to 30 touchdowns this year, maybe 27, and I think they're going to run the ball a lot more. I think 43, 44% of the time you run this year as opposed to 34% last year. I see a lot more running, a lot less passing. Nate says, not great like you mean. I'm just saying his mix of speed and passing ability made a guy, yeah, potential. I'll agree there. He had some potential for sure. Can you unblock? I can't do it right now. I can't unblock your other account right now. I don't know why it was blocked. What's your biggest surprise this year to happen? Baruch says. My biggest surprise this year to happen on the New York Giants. It's a good question. Let me think. What's the biggest surprise? I'm trying to be realistic here. You know what? I'm riding with it, man. I've rode with him the entire offseason. Maybe I'll look like a fool. I think Lorenzo Carter's going to have an impact with this football team this year. I think Lorenzo Carter's going to have a good year. I think a lot of Giants fans have fallen off the wagon with Carter. They want to get rid of him. I think Carter's an impact defensive player for this team this year. I think he fits the scheme. I think he's the type of player Judge is looking for, a guy that can do multiple things. He's a freak athlete. With proper coaching, I think you could get a lot more out of him. I think Patrick Graham's a really smart mind. I think they find a way for Carter to be a lot more productive this year. So if I'm going to pick a surprise, I guess, by a lot of people's standards, I think Lorenzo Carter surprises some people. I'll go with Carter. What's up there, Luke Sarah, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. Let's see what we got here. Who believes in the Giants this year? Not a lot of people, Fabian. We're on our own island this year. We're on New York. I feel like we're on Survivor. We're on our own island this year. We got a surprise. Going out on a limb with that, Chris. Lloyd, man, sometimes you got to go out on the limb, my man. Sometimes you got to go out on a limb, my man. Blake, man, I love you, man. Oh, I don't know if I love you, but sorry, buddy. You got to go. We're not answering that question. What's up, Tana? Sorry I'm late, man, and so much work to do today. Simon, man, are you kidding me? You never have to apologize for being late. Don't know about Carter, bro. Like I said, I guess it's a bit of a hot take. A lot of Giants fans are off the bandwagon on Carter. That's a surprise. He asked me for a surprise. Dexter Lawrence, top 3 tackle this year. I'd have to think about that. I'd have to look at rosters. I'm going to tell you this. Dexter Lawrence very well may be at the conclusion of this year the best player on the New York Giants defense. Dexter Lawrence is legit, man. You're not supposed to be able to move the way he can at that size. I'm a big Lawrence fan, and I think he's going to get a lot better than last year. And he was really impressive last year. By year's end, Lawrence may very well be the best player in the New York Giants defense. I do believe that. I do. I don't know if he will be, but I wouldn't be shocked at all. I'm a big Dexter Lawrence fan. Let's see what we got here. Do you think Joe Judge or Matt Rule will be a better head coach in the NFL? It's gonna come down to, give me that hat, Chris. It's gonna come down to personnel. It's gonna come down. A lot of it's gonna come down to luck at the end of the day. I think both of them are very talented coaches. I didn't hide it. I liked Matt Rule. I knew more about Matt Rule than Joe Judge before the Giants hired their coach. Had an impressive resume. He flipped 2 college programs, was known as a motivator. But one thing I'll say, since he came in, I don't agree with a lot of things the Carolina Panthers did. But, we'll see. It's hard to judge. I think both of them have a bright future. I do like the future for the New York Giants as of now better. For the simple reason is we have the quarterback in place already. I don't view Bridgewater as a long-term answer. I think, McCaffrey and Barkley are a wash. But I think the Giants right now, if you ask me, I think they're set up better for the future right now. So I'd pick Judge right now, but that could change. I think both of them could be really good head coaches, and I'm excited to see how it plays out. How many balls will Saquon catch in Garrett's offense? I think 85. Ooh, man. I don't know. That's another big question I have going into the offseason, because that was something, going into the season rather, because that was something that was written about, people talked about. Saquon didn't have the best chemistry with Daniel Jones. We all talked about it all the time. Every week in my post-game videos, I'd say he doesn't go to Saquon Barkley. There's no chemistry there. Now, Barkley was banged up a bit. Will they use him more in the passing game? I hope so. I don't think he got enough work in the passing game last year. I want to get Barkley more out in space. I don't know if he's going to have 85 catches. Eli Manning checked the ball down a lot. He had 91 or 92 in his rookie year. But a lot of that had to do with the fact that, 1, they were playing a lot of catch-up ball. 2, Eli Manning checked the ball down more than anybody. Jones seems to take more shots down the field. I do want to see Jones rein it in a little bit this year, though, because I think there were times last year where he took unnecessary chances. Check it down to Barkley. Let Barkley try to make something out of nothing. So I think he'll have more catches than he did last year. I think he was around 50 or 55. He did miss some games. I don't know if he'll have 85. I think you're approaching at least 70 if he plays 16 games. I think he's our best weapon. I think they need to find ways to get him the football. Let's see what we got here. That's my name in real life. DJ gets 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns, or Saquon gets 1,000. What's your take? I think DJ is much more likely. I think he's going to be around both those numbers. 1,000, you're asking for a lot. I think Barkley's going to have over 2,100 scrimmage yards if he plays 16 games. I don't know about 1,000. I just think there's a lot of mouths to feed. I think the Giants are going to try to run the ball a lot. I could see him having 700. But I think Jones could easily have 4,000 yards passing this year. I don't think he'll have much more. I think you're looking at between 3,800, maybe 4,100 yards, and right around 30 touchdowns. So I think that is obtainable. Daniel Jones, I think, is much more obtainable. Let's see what we got here. I have a great feeling about Holmes. Holmes is one of my favorite players on this team. He might be my favorite rookie. I absolutely love Darnay Holmes. I am a huge fan of Darnay Holmes. I am all about Holmes. I freaking love him. I love his work ethic. I love his upside. I love everything about the kid. And, I don't know if he's going to start day one. We'll see. He's a rookie. He's a 4th-round pick. We'll see if he gets that opportunity to start in the slot. But I would be shocked if at some point this season he's not starting for the New York Giants. And I do believe he is going to be a player for this team. I do believe that. I think he's going to be a starter for a while for the New York Giants. I think the Giants got a diamond in the rough there in the 4th round. And if they did, you got to get them in a lot of credit to find a player that could produce the way that we think Holmes could potentially produce that late in the draft. But, like I said with Jones, you got to see it before we say it. Benjamin, thanks so much for the love. He says, what do you think about Dak and Zeke? What do you think they do at a gay party? The dildo party. I brought that up in my previous video and my previous live stream, and they're infamous for that. The whole dildo party with Zeke and Dak. And, it doesn't. That's why I said it wouldn't surprise me if the Cowboys go out there, they get COVID this year. I mean, they're known for going after the dildos, so wouldn't shock me at all. So if you're a Cowboys fan, you got to be wary of that. You can't trust those guys. You can't trust those guys. What's going on, Nick DeWick? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. Teddy Bridgewater is going to have weapons at Carolina with Christian McCaffrey, Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore, Seth. He is. He's got weapons. I still don't believe in Bridgewater. Not long term. I could be wrong. Maybe I'll look like a fool. I'm not a big Bridgewater guy. I'm not. Chris, more or less play action this year under Garrett? That's a good question. I read an article last year that the Giants did less play action because they felt like Jones didn't he wasn't good at reading defenses, and when they did play action, when they didn't do play action, it was easier for him to get the ball out quicker. If he gets better in that aspect, maybe they'll do more play action. I think you're going to see an offense that takes a lot more shots down the field. I think you're going to see an offense that tries to run the ball and establish the run more so than that under Pat Shurmur. I don't know the percentage of play action, if that'll go up or if that'll go down. I don't know what the numbers are off the top of my head last year under Shurmur. Shurmur was known for the play action before he got to the New York Giants. I remember that Keenum led the league in quarterback rating with the Minnesota Vikings. Shurmur's last year there for the most efficient quarterback out of the play action. So his system was known for that, but Jones didn't run a lot of it last year, and a lot of what I read had to do with the fact that people felt that the coaching staff felt like he wasn't ready to, I guess, do a lot of play action. They wanted him to get the ball out quick, dummy things down for a rookie quarterback. But if he's more advanced this year, maybe they will break that out more often. And if you could establish the run and make your offense more, less predictable, it's going to open up more play action opportunities. I like to see more play action, and I want to see the establishment of the run. What undrafted free agent do you think will make the team at wide receiver? I think Austin Mack. I'm sticking with Benjamin Victor. I'm sticking with Benjamin Victor, and I'm not ruling Sills out yet. I was a fan of bringing in Sills last year. He's 6'5". I think he's got a chance as well. He had like 33 touchdowns his last 2 years at West Virginia. Could be a red zone target, but if I had to pick one, I'm picking Victor. I think Sills is my second favorite, believe it or not. But we'll see. We're definitely going to get a lot of reports as training camp gets into the fold. I'm looking forward to it. But if you ask me to pick one, I'm sticking with the guy I've been talking about for a while. That's Benjamin Victor. And what time did we start? I forgot. We started at 8:50. We'll probably go to like 11:15, somewhere around there. So thank you. We'll go for about another hour. So thank you to everybody for being here. I appreciate it. You guys are phenomenal. Thank you for being the best supporters on YouTube. Could never say it enough. I was excited to be able to do another PM New York Giants Q&A. Love doing these. I'll be doing these more often as we start to get more news. Definitely be doing a ton of these during the season. Talking to you guys, like I said, about the game, the day after the game. Talking about the next week's upcoming opponent. Just talking Giants week in and week out. So I'm looking forward to it. Thank you guys for being here, man. What's going on, Tana? G-Man 409 in the house, man. Glad to see you, man. Do you think Green Bay is going to have a successful season? I'm still picking them to win the North. But I don't think that... Listen, I was all about Green Bay last year. You watch my channel. I picked Green Bay in April or May. Probably May. To go to the Super Bowl. Most people had that missing the playoffs. They got to the NFC Championship, so I was pretty close. I was all about Green Bay last year. This year, they were disappointing for me last year. Believe it or not. Benjamin, I'll do that at the end of the stream. Thank you very much, Philip. I appreciate that. Believe it or not, last year, I was all about Green Bay, but even with a 13-3 record, I thought they were underwhelming. They were a disappointing 13-3. They were a fake 13-3 to me, 3 team to me, and they didn't improve their roster this year. Last year, they're kind of reminiscent to me, kind of like the Giants from 2016 or 16 when they built their team through free agency. The Giants went out there, they spent a boatload of money. The Packers did the same exact thing last year. They spent all their money on the defense. They brought in Amos, they brought in Zadarius, they brought in Preston, both Smiths. Definitely helped their defense, but will it have long-term success? I don't know. And I don't like what they did in the draft. I don't think they helped their team in the immediate future. I think they're vulnerable, but I'm still probably going to pick them to win the North just because I respect Aaron Rodgers, and I think they'll win 10 games. So there's my thoughts on and Benjamin, man, thank you so much for love. I appreciate it. Roldy says, Chris, how are some of these drafted guys your favorite players when they haven't hit the field? When I say favorite, Roldy, I mean my favorite of the drafted guys. I don't want you to get that twisted. I should specify that. And then he says, I've got to see them on the field first before any play. Yeah, I'm sorry. I should have specified that, Roldy. I didn't mean my favorite player on the team. I meant my favorite player amongst the drafted players. Darnay Holmes is he probably is my favorite amongst the drafted players. I think Andrew Thomas is going to be the best. And I love Andrew Thomas. I love the Hogs. But I love everything about Darnay Holmes, everything that I've heard, everything that I've seen on film, everything that people talked about. So I'm a big fan of Holmes, but yeah, I was saying it in relation to the rookie class. I wasn't talking about the team in general. You're right. You got the proof in the pudding. Yeah. I meant with the rookies. What's going on, Ernesto, man? Thanks for popping in the stream. Who am I rooting for in the NBA playoffs? I'll tell you what, man. I'm not. I'm not a Laker fan. I'm not. I'm a Knicks fan. I'm not rooting for the Lakers, but I'm a big LeBron James fan. I really am. I think that LeBron James has been underappreciated for a while, and some of it is his own doing, how he forced himself out of several destinations. I'd be happy to see LeBron get a ring. I would. I would. I would not be against that at all. I know a lot of people hate on LeBron. I'm kind of pulling for the Lakers because of LeBron. I want to see LeBron get another ring. So, yeah. Do you think the Patriots will be a sleeper team with Cam? Alex, here's what I'm going to say, Alex. I'll never rule out the Patriots. I will never rule out the Patriots. They got the smartest mind in football. They got a tremendous coaching staff. I think Cam Newton is an incredibly talented quarterback. If he's healthy, we don't know if we have the healthy Cam, but if we do, could do great things with the New England Patriots. I don't know if we have it yet, though. But the thing is, they lost a lot of talent. They lost their entire defense. They have 7 players sitting out, or 6 or 7 due to COVID. I don't know, man. I think it's going to be tough. I still think they compete. I still think they win 8 or 9 games. But do I think they're like a Super Bowl threat? No. I think they lost too much. But they're still going to be competitive, and I think Newton will have a good year. Go Bucks, go Clippers, Casey says. Yeah, half the team opted out. That's the thing. Are you a fan of Julian Love? Yes, I'm a fan of Julian Love. Yes, I'm a fan of Julian Love. But I'm a fan of keeping him where he is. I don't want to see Julian Love moving all around, moving to the cornerback on the outside. If they feel like he's the best guy, then give it to him. But I don't like having, it's kind of the same thing with Daniel Jones. I don't like having a guy having to learn so many different things. Julian Love got adapted to playing the safety position. He did a pretty good job last year in limited action. Let him stay there and get better at it. Don't go and then make him move and learn a completely new position. That's just my mentality. That's my thought process on it. So I like Julian Love. I think he's good at what he did last year, and hopefully he improves on it. But yeah, I think he was a really good player for the Giants last year for a rookie. And I think the fact that he was able to sit on the bench, unlike a lot of the other rookies, like I've talked about in the past, definitely benefited him. So yeah, I think Love will play well for the Giants. I hope he remains in that safety spot or potentially the slot corner. Hi, Chris. Tough loss. Yeah, Pete, man. Yeah, we're used to it, man. But thank you for popping in the stream, man. And thank you for posting the movie channel, Mike. I'm going to have a lot more content up on that channel starting like August 21st. Once movies start coming out, there'll be trailers, movie reviews, yada, yada, yada. But thank you for posting that. What record do you think the records will end up with? What record do you think the records will end up with? I don't know what you mean by that, Eric. If you're asking what record I think the Giants will have, I've said about 6-10, 7-9. That's what I think. Would you be happy with 8-8? Yes. Yes, I'd be very happy with 8-8 from the Giants this year. We're going to see a ton of different looks on D this year. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. You go back, you watch the film. I've got NFL Game Pass. You watch the film of the Dolphins last year. They threw so many different looks at the opposing quarterbacks. It's definitely an innovative defense. It's going to be a fun defense to watch this year. It really is. But the thing is, here's what I'll say about the defense. It's going to be a defense that when they miss, when they don't get home, they're going to get cooked. We're going to give up big plays. I think it was against the Steelers last year. The Dolphins were playing the Steelers. Steelers, I think it was the play right before the half. Hit on like a 60-yard touchdown. He's going to be aggressive. And when you're aggressive, you're susceptible to the big play. So I think the Giants will give up some big plays, but I think they're going to be an aggressive defense. They're going to try to create turnovers, and I think that'll be the mentality this year. Players' draft chemistry is critical. How do you see last year's results translating into a more productive Giants team moving forward? Ooh, man, you guys are giving me some good questions tonight. How do I see last year's results translating into a more productive Giants team moving forward? Well, here's what I'll say. Last year we didn't have a lot of great results. Let's think about last year's results. The offensive line wasn't good. The quarterback was better, I think, at least for me, than I thought he would be in his rookie year. Barkley was banged up. Wide receivers were all banged up outside of Slayton. And Tate's not a part of the future. Ingram was banged up. Defense, what did we really get? We were good against the run. Didn't get much of a pass rush outside of Golden. I guess the secondary, guys like Love were pretty good. Peppers was good when he got an opportunity. It's just a completely new team. It's a completely new scheme on both sides. I kind of throw last year out the window outside of Daniel Jones. That's what I think you have to build on. I think it's kind of starting from scratch. You have completely new schemes in here. Saquon Barkley's healthy. That's the way you got to think positive. We're coming in with a healthy team. Hopefully they could remain healthy. But I don't think there's a whole lot to build off of outside of Daniel Jones off of last year. There wasn't much. The defense was like the worst in the league, and our whole offense was hurt. So I don't think there was much, man. Let's see what we got here. Do you think we would use the 3-4 or the 4-3 as our base defense? We're not going to have a base defense. We're going to have a multifaceted defense, and it's going to depend on the team we're playing. Yeah, we're not going to have a base defense. I think you'll see more 3-4 than 4-3. You look at Patrick Graham last year in comparison to Betcher. Betcher, I think only did it about 20% of the time was the 3-5. Whatever it was, Graham was like double. So I think we'll see more 3-4 than we did last year, and I think our defensive line is better suited to playing a 3-4. So I expect to see more 3-4 than a 4-3. But we'll see. You know what I'm saying? I think it'll be multifaceted, though. I don't think you're going to be able to say this is a 3-4 or a 4-3. I think you're going to see all different types of schemes. You'll see 3-5-3, 3-3-5 rather. You'll see a lot of different types of schemes that the New York Giants throw at you. 3-2-6, I could even say. You know, I could see a lot of different schemes. They could have packages out there where you have like 5 linebackers. I mean, the Giants are going to try to confuse some teams. What's going on, Hector, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. Chris, do you think we will end up investing in a big-time receiver in the future? Hard to say. I mean, the Giants of the past did in Eli Manning's second year with Plaxico Burress through free agency. It all depends on Slayton. It really does. If they feel like they got to go out there and get a supreme target, yes. It could be next year. It could be in the draft. It could be in free agency. And it probably will be. They probably will be. Do I think they'll take a receiver in the first round? I'm leaning no. But they could definitely do that. They could definitely sign a premier wide receiver in free agency. And they could definitely take one in the second round. Because I would think they're going to try to help out Daniel Jones as much as they possibly can. And we all know he could use another target, another big-time wide receiver. Golden Tate may not be on the team next year. Shepard may not be on the team if he continues to have concussions. So, yeah, I could definitely see them investing in a prime-time receiver. If not next draft, the one after that. So, yes. I could see it in his eyes. I always need a cannoli. That's like cheating, Joey Lutz. I always need a cannoli. You know that as much as anybody, my man. Joey Lutz is a phenomenal supporter. Glad to see you in here, man. I know the Mets haven't been getting the job done for us lately, man, but I know you're a diehard Giant fan. You're a great supporter of the channel. I appreciate you for being here, buddy. What's going on, Patrick Hughes? Let's bring in Britt on the cheap to compete with Gates. I wouldn't be against that. Britt's had injury history. People worry about that. I wouldn't be against that, though. I'd be open to that for sure. Definitely. Baruch says, how come other teams don't do that with mixed defense scheme if it's smart? If it's the smart thing to do? I mean, a lot of defenses do. I mean, the Patriots do. The Patriots throw different looks. There's a lot of teams that do. Teams have different philosophies. There's certain teams that like to just line up and beat you at the point of attack. That's what a 4-3 defense is. And then you have teams that are more creative. They run the 3-4 and they run different variations and they try to generate pressure through blitzing and through confusing their opponent. And that's what the Giants are going to try to do. But a number of teams do that. The Ravens do that. The Patriots do that. Yeah, a number of teams do that. The Bills, the Bills don't have any premier pass rushers. That now they do. They finally went out there. They brought in some. But a lot of teams try to produce pressure through coverage and through blitzing. Have you thought about starting a podcast? And if not, what about an OnlyFans? I don't know what an OnlyFans is. Well, isn't an OnlyFans like... What's an OnlyFans? I don't even know what that is. But a podcast, people have asked me to do that in the past. I've thought about it, and maybe I will do it in season. The thing with a podcast is, if I'm talking exclusively Giants, it's kind of hard to produce a podcast. Well, I could do it once a week, yeah, maybe I will. I mean, people have asked me to do that in the past. Maybe I will do a podcast. Yes, I have thought about it. For naked girls. Okay, so it was a joke. So it was a joke. That's what I thought. It was. Mods is copying and pasting a question every few minutes to get it answered spamming. Oh, they got me with the OnlyFans. They got me with the OnlyFans. I'll be on the podcast anytime, Chris. Glad to see you here, my man. They got me. No, guys, for whoever asked, hopefully you're a woman. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna. I will not be. I will not be showing the bits. No, no, no OnlyFans. I may do a podcast, but it'll be about football. Let's see what we got here. So since he opted out and we won't get more tape this season, what's your thoughts on Parsons? Big fan. He's the best from everything that you read from all the experts. He's the best linebacker in this class. I definitely think he's one of the 3 or 4 most likely candidates for the New York Giants to take if they're picking early in next year's draft. I don't know if they would take him the top 3, 4, 5. If we're picking in the 7 to 10 range, I could see it. Maybe even at like 5. But yeah, I definitely think he's a prime-time target for the Giants. Seems to be a really athletic linebacker and the type of player that we could definitely use. 350 watching. I appreciate it, man. You think the Buccaneers are overhyped? Although I don't. I actually don't. I initially thought the Bucs were overhyped. I don't anymore. And it's not because of Brady. It's because I think they have a really good team around Brady, and they kind of need a game manager, which is what I think Brady will be. Winston turned the ball over way too much last year. I think Brady comes in there. He's smarter with the football. They've got good minds on both the offense and the defense in terms of the coaching staff. Arians is a great offensive mind. Bowles a great defensive mind. They've got talent on both sides of it. I think the Bucs will definitely be a dangerous team this year. Let's see what we got here. Lots of lurker. Do you think Dom Smith is the GOAT? Dom Smith is the GOAT, but we're not winning games. But yes, he is the GOAT. What has he got? Six home runs, I think. Just had to get a swig of water. I'm gonna get Benjamin's spin out of the way. I know that. We'll get that out of the way right now. I said I was gonna do it at the end. We'll get it out of the way now. Whee! There you go, Benjamin. There's your spin, man. Thank you for all your love that you always show the channel, man. I really appreciate that. And always good to have fun with you. I'll give you another one at the end of it too. But thank you so much for being here. 350 watching, 700 eyeballs. Thank me later, Nikki. What, Nikki? What did you share out the stream? You shared out the stream, Nikki. I appreciate. Or you just telling me there were 700 eyeballs, but you don't know. Some of these people may have 1 eyeball for all we know. The Giants secondary will be better this season because they got James Bradbury, McKinney, Peppers, and improved Julian Love and Corey Ballantyne. They'll be better. That doesn't mean they'll be good. The Giants secondary last year was ass. I mean, for lack of a better word, it was ass. The edge rushers were ass. I mean, so yes, they'll be better. With the acquisition of Bradbury alone, they'll be better. But don't forget, we had Jenkins. Jenkins, for as much as we hate on Jenkins was pretty good for the Giants last year before we cut him. Jenkins was pretty good for the New York Giants. Let's see what we got here. What's going on, Havoc, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. Bro, you definitely need to do one more at the end. I'll do one more at the end. Start calling him Nicky Street. Hey, Chris, do you think McKinney is going to be a top coverage safety? No, I don't think he's going to be a top coverage safety. I think he's going to be more... maybe. I mean, I gotta wait and see. He's not the greatest athlete in the world. He's not like, I think, well, he was banged up. He didn't run. I just think he's a guy that you're going to be able to move around. He's going to be able to do a variety of different things. I don't really view him as a center fielder, which is why a lot of people kind of wish we took Winfield. But I like him. I think you're going to be able to use him in a lot of different ways. He's a really smart player, really, a guy that definitely puts in a lot of work from everything that you read and hear from Alabama. I'm a big fan of his. I think he fits the scheme very well. I don't know if he's going to be an elite coverage safety, though. Ryan says, what are you smoking? Oh, no, I don't think he meant this year. When I was reading that question, I was thinking more in general, like throughout his career. I don't think he's going to be a top safety his rookie year. No way. No. What's going on, Max, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. Dude, my hype that we have Marcus Golden with us. He played good at... We got Marcus Golden for pennies. We paid, I think it was... How much was it? $5.1 million for a guy who had 10 sacks last year. You're paying... Yeah, I would have thought he was going to get at least $8, $9, $10 million on a 3-year deal. I'm glad he's back. Do I think he's going to be the savior? No. I think he's going to be a situational pass rusher. But I am a big fan of Marcus Golden. I think for bringing him back, at least for what we brought him back for. I was not a proponent of bringing him back when I thought he was going to get what he was going to get. But I am a fan of bringing back Marcus Golden. Do you think Sewell is on the table if the line doesn't show? Yes, 100%. And it's all going to depend on what they feel about Barrett. If they feel like Barrett's the guy, no. But if Barrett is kind of still a developmental project and you have an opportunity to take the best tackle that's coming out, he's better than Thomas. This guy got Heisman votes. So if yes, I think it's possible. If we're picking top 3, top 4, that's where he's going to go. Yeah, do I think it's likely? No, but I'm not ruling it out. You don't know what's going to happen with the team this year. I think Thomas is definitely part of the future. We hope Barrett is, and he definitely could be, but I don't think it's set in stone. Are you going to be? Yes, I'm going to be live for the NBA Draft Lottery. Yes. Forgot to take off the cap. What Simon says, Online Big Blue Entertainment said that McKinney is bigger than Peppers. Okay. I'm not going to say anything about him because anytime, you know what you learn on YouTube? When you say something, there's spies, and then he'll have a video out tomorrow and he'll say, oh, yeah, we got bashed again by the entertainer talking sports. I don't even watch your channel, bro. So keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a great job on YouTube. And, yeah, that's it. That's all I'll say about him. But, no, Peppers is much more of an in-the-box safety than McKinney is. That's all I'll say about that. Yes, no, Peppers is the guy that can play the linebacker position. McKinney, not so much. Let's see what we got here. What do you think about the Giants? What do you think the Giants' record will be? 6-10 or 7-9? 6-10 or 7-9? Better prospect coming out, McKinney or Minka? Minka. I think Minka Fitzpatrick was the better prospect coming out. Definitely Minka Fitzpatrick. Minka Fitzpatrick is awesome. They got a steal last year when they were able to trade for him for that. Chris, what's going on there, Gabe? Thanks for popping into the stream. Why you want LeBron James to win? He's a I like LeBron James. I like LeBron James. I think there was a time where I didn't like him, but now I feel like he's been overhated. I think he's been overhated. I want him to get his just due. I want him to get his respect. I have something in my teeth. Okay. I don't know. Do I? Let me see. Maybe I do. I don't know. I'll check after the stream if I do. I appreciate you for letting me know. What's going on there, Kristaps Porzingis? Who will be the biggest piece on the defensive line? Leonard Williams and Dexter Lawrence. I think will be the 2 biggest pieces on the defensive line. I don't know the exact date for the NBA draft. I think it's like a couple of weeks after the conclusion of the season. It's very soon after the season. I'm talking like 3 weeks. 2-3 weeks. Maybe a month. It's not that far after the season. The lottery balls are in like 3 days. It's soon. Let's see what we got here. Do you think that Gano is a good kicker? Yes, I think Gano was a great pickup. I think Gano was a great pickup for the New York Giants, based on the situation they're in. But of course, we got to make sure the guy's healthy. The guy hasn't played in a long time. He didn't play all of last year, so we got to make sure he's healthy. We got to make sure that he can make kicks. So, but yeah, I like the Gano pickup. I did not feel confident with Cannizzaro being our only option. Benjamin, thanks for love. He says, KB comes out of the closet making another account and saying, I'm cute is extremely weird. Chris, you need to talk with him. It is what it is, man. If he's into that, he's into that. I can't do anything about that, my man. Benjamin, man. Oh, man. You got the cannoli stuck in your teeth. Yeah, I eat way too many cannolis, don't him. Jared says, how awesome would it be if we have Jason Garrett for 2 years, then he moves on to be a head coach, and we get our quarterback. Jared, I've talked about it. Our quarterback coach, Jerry Shulplinski, is going to be a head coach one day. I believe that. I do believe that. And I think he's the offensive coordinator for the Giants in waiting. I also believe that. I don't think Garrett's going to be a long-term guy here. I think he's going to be here for more than a year. Maybe 2, maybe 3. And that may answer your question. I forgot who asked it. Somebody asked earlier. I didn't even think about it when I was answering the question. Somebody asked earlier, if we lose Garrett, would you bring in somebody who runs a completely different scheme? If we lose Garrett, I think the OC is going to be Shulplinski, and I think that's a perfect fit if we lose Garrett because he's his quarterback coach. He's known as a guy that's a guy that is very easy to learn from if you're a quarterback. I could see Shulplinski getting promoted from within to be the offensive coordinator, so at least you have familiarity there. I think it would make a ton of sense. I'm a big Shulplinski guy. Let's see what we got here. Feeling Feeling so bad for KP. KP's good. KP's cool, man. I'm getting pepperoni pizza stuck in my teeth right freaking now. You asked that, Jawad. Well, there you go. I forgot about Shaplinski. I should have remembered that. I think he's the OC in waiting. Never been a LeBron fan. While he's a great player, you'll never find another player with a bigger group of supporters that claim he's the GOAT, overlooking the fact that only wins it all with stars. Yeah, I mean, listen, I was at a point in my life, Afghanistan, where I felt the same way, and now I feel like it's just too much. It's just too much where I feel like he gets hated. So now I'm kind of like with LeBron. But there was definitely a point where I was like, no. But I've kind of reverted back to LeBron. What's going on, Great Wooda? Thanks for popping in the stream. Bryce, he says, how's your night? Listen, I am talking to over 300 of the best Giants fans, the best entertainer fans in the world. And I've been talking to them now for almost 2 hours. So if you're asking me how my night is fantastic. I'm getting to hang out with the best people on YouTube. What's better than that? Love all you guys. Thank you guys for being here. Peter Almo, man, thanks so much for the love, man. I appreciate it. He says, LeBron had the goal to call himself the GOAT with a 3-6 finals record while MJ is still breathing. I hope that guy does nothing but lose forever. Here's what I'll say about that. All right, let's get a little basketball talk for 2 minutes. I know everybody's here for football. We are gonna end the LeBron versus Jordan discussion right now. Not close. Jordan is far and away the number one. And I am going to dispute and rebut the main talking point that bronzesexuals, and that's what I call them, bronzesexuals, have in favor of LeBron James over Michael Jordan. I'm going to dispel it right now. The one thing that I always hear is Michael Jordan wouldn't be able to play in this era at as high of a level. Michael Jordan wasn't a great three-point shooter. Michael Jordan shot 32% from three-point land. I'm going to tell you one thing about Michael Jordan. There was not a player in the NBA that worked harder than Michael Jordan. Are you telling me if Michael Jordan grew up in this era 20 years later, he wouldn't have transformed his game to fit the playing style of today's NBA? Michael Jordan be shooting 40% from three-point land in today's NBA. No doubt about it. And Michael Jordan dominated his era much more than LeBron James dominated his. I'm a LeBron James fan. I'm telling you he's the second greatest player who ever lived, but he is not close to Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is far and away the greatest basketball player who ever lived. Period. End of story. Discussion over. All right, back to the Giants. Let's see what we got here. Jordan better finisher without a doubt, but LeBron is a much better all-around player. I'm taking Jordan every single time. Every single time. Let's see what we got here. You think the Giants will beat the football team this year? Yes, I think the Giants will beat the football team this year. Yes, I do. How do you feel about the extra inning rule? I hate the extra inning rule. I know that they put the runner on second base to try to quicken up the game. I don't like it at all. I am not a fan at all. I do not like it at all. How is LeBron better than Wilt or Oscar? Listen, I'm a big Bron fan. I think he is incredibly special. I think he'd be great in any era, but I'm not putting him above Jordan. I know that you'll look at those guys. Listen, I didn't get to watch those players, okay? So first off, it's fair. If you're an older gentleman and you got to watch those guys, I didn't. I can only go based off of old film, statistics. But LeBron's a freak. LeBron is built like Shaquille O'Neal. He's 6'8". He could play like a point guard. That doesn't exist. The guy's like 285 pounds. He's chiseled. And he could play like a point guard. I'm going to be fair about LeBron. LeBron's phenomenal. And we've never seen a player like him. And I think he'll get a lot more respect when he retires. But he ain't Jordan. He's just not. Are you happy now that we drafted DJ at 6, or are you still... Rose Tap, yet to be determined. Yet to be determined for me. I love Daniel Jones so far. I love what I've seen. But yet to be determined. If he's worthy of a second contract, I'll say that it was the right pick. But I'm not going to make that distinction after 1 year. I got to see Jones for 3 or 4 years before I make that distinction. I think Josh Allen is going to be a premier pass rusher. He showed it last year. He had 10 sacks in limited action. He didn't start for the Jaguars. Or if he did, he kind of rotated. So I think Josh Allen's going to be really good. But if Daniel Jones proves to be a franchise quarterback, it was the right pick. And I think he will be. But I got to see it. Like I said, if he proves to be a franchise quarterback, I'll be all on board with the Daniel Jones pick. Bryce, man, thanks so much for love. He says, you think the Giants are going to pick up any big names? And if so, how much would... I do not. Right now we've got I think we've got about $21 million in space, somewhere around there. I don't think we're going to bring in a big name. I think if we were going to bring in a big name, we would have done it already. I don't see it. I really don't think we're going to bring in a big name. I'd be surprised. I'd be shocked if we do. What's going on, MMKG? I'm here just not. Yeah, no, I appreciate you for being here, MMKG. Luke Sarah in the chat. And Peter Alamo says, are you still doing the fit? Yes, I am. Yes, I am, Pete. I am going to have, it's going to be once a week. I'm just waiting until football season because I didn't want it to get too redundant. I'll probably start that up in probably like September 1st, like 10 days before the season or so, and I'll do it once a week. I'm gonna do that once a week. I'm gonna do one of these in football season. Like I said, last year I did a lot of, NFL streams, Monday night, Thursday night. I'm not doing that this year. I might do one a week. I did the Sunday night game, the Monday night game, the Thursday night game. I'm gonna dedicate my time to the Giants. Pretty much exclusively. I might do one game a week that's like a broad game if it's a big game. But outside of that, I'm going to have a subscriber live stream where the subscribers come on. We have a roundtable. We talk about that week's game. Whatever. I'm going to have one of these where I get to talk to you guys. I'm going to try to have one on where I do the NFC East. I don't know if that'll be live, but I'm working on getting an NFC East roundtable podcast type thing. I've been talking about that for like 3 months. I'm trying to get that together. I don't know if that'll be live or if it'll be edited or premiered. I'm going to do weekly picks. And, of course, we're going to be live streaming the Giants game. So I'm going to be doing a lot of Giants stuff. And probably post-game live streams, too, the day of the game. If it's an earlier game, I'll come on around 6, 7 o'clock. We'll talk about it. So I'm going to be doing a lot of live stream stuff this year. We need an ice hockey update. Philly 1, Montreal nothing. All right, there you go. I know the Islanders are up 3-0. I'm not a Redskins fan, but I'm still call them the Redskins. And there's my Instagram. You can follow me there. I appreciate that, Lake Nona, man. Thank you very much, man. Can we get 200? Yeah, can we get 200? How many? I don't even know how many we got. But if you haven't done so, please hit that thumbs up, subscribe, ring the bell. Appreciate everybody for being here. Thank you very much, man. I really do appreciate it. Predictions for the MVP this year. I'm going chalk. I'm going Pat Mahomes. Yeah, I'm going Pat Mahomes. I think Pat Mahomes would have won it last year if he didn't get hurt. I know Lamar Jackson had this unbelievable year. Pat Mahomes, to me, is far and away the best quarterback. He has the best offensive mind as his head coach. He's got weapons galore. I have to go with Pat Mahomes. I have to. Chris, who do you think will have a bigger impact and ceiling for us, McKinney or Peppers? I think Peppers is going to have a bigger year. McKinney's in his rookie season. I think Peppers is going to have a better rookie year. I think he fits the scheme very well. He's more experienced. I got to go with Peppers. Peppers very well may be our second best player on defense. Some may say our first. I'm going to go with Bradbury as our first. But Peppers, I got to go with Peppers. I can't pick a rookie over Jabril Peppers. Peppers been in this league now for 4 years. I think Peppers will have a bigger impact on the team this year. Let's see what we got here. Pat Mahomes definitely better than Lamar. Chris, when you going to shave it off like bad? Oh, no, never. The moss going to stay, guys. So you got the hat moss tonight. Definitely got some grays in there. I'm sure you guys see that in my videos from time to time. But I still got moss, man. So the hair's not coming off for a while. When's my next live stream, Chris? Word, I'm not sure. I'm sure I'll have one soon. I'm probably going to start having more Giants streams getting up there on the page. Well, talking Giants, I forgot what day Bad Dog said he could do it, but that'll be this week on my channel. I'm sure I'll have a Met stream if I can, if they're not getting absolutely demolished. We'll see if I'm up for it tomorrow or the day after, but I'm always live. I'm definitely going to have a lot more Giant videos coming out now that we're putting the pads on tomorrow. I'm sure I'll have a video out tomorrow. Expect a lot more Giant stuff up now as we're getting into it. The Moss Boss. Let's see what we got here. People don't realize that McKinney was all over the place at defense last year. Pretty damn close to how Simmons was used. He was. I realize it, Casey. He had over 200 snaps at three different positions over the last 2 years of college. Only player in the country to do that. Definitely very versatile. That's what I love about his game. But he's a rookie. I'm not going to put those expectations on a second-round rookie to say that I think he's going to be better than Peppers in his first year. If you ask me who's going to be better long-term, I might say McKinney. But this year, I'm going to go with Peppers. Bryce, man, thanks so much for love. I appreciate it. Did you see how big Julian Love has gotten over this quarantine? I did see some photos, and that's a lot of the players. Daniel Jones, but yes, I did. He looks impressive. We'll see if it translates on the football field. But the Giants, there's no doubt about it. They've been working hard this offseason. They've had to overcome a lot, and hopefully Conley comes back too. I'm excited to see Conley. He's one of the guys I'm most excited to see. Kevin, man, thanks so much for the love, man. He says all black. I actually got brown hair. I don't know how it looks on stream. I got brown hair, but I may start dyeing the hair soon. Baruch. Kevin says, can you see Freddie Kitchens taking over if Garrett does well and leaves? It's possible. There's a number of guys. It's possible. He's got connections to Judge. He's had that title in the past briefly with the Browns. He was kind of like a mid-season offensive coordinator before getting the head coaching gig. So he's done it before. I haven't brought his name up. That is a good one. That is possible. The Giants could definitely promote him from within as well. I've said Shaplinski, but it could be him. That's a good one. That's a good one. It's for sure. But I would much rather Shaplinski, personally. Looks gray. It is gray. It looks gray because it is gray. Mike Trout or Pat Mahomes? Mike Trout. Mike Trout. But it's close. It's real close. But I'm going Mike Trout. I'm going to tell you why real quick in that debate. And I'm not bashing Mahomes at all. Mahomes is unbelievable. As talented as almost any quarterback I've ever seen. But to me, baseball is much more of an individualistic sport. You could put Mike Trout in any situation, and he's going to produce the way he has. It's not like the Angels have surrounded him with a great lineup. Pat Mahomes is surrounded with Andy Reid. He's surrounded with the best offensive mind in the sport. He's got a great scheme for him. I think if you put him on other situations, he'll still be great, but he's not going to be all worldly, game-changing statistics. With Trout, he's going to be arguably the greatest player ever over the first half of his career. That's how good he's been. So I would go Trout. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. I agree with Peppers myself, but a lot of people are unaware of how Xavier was used. Yeah. No, you're right. He was very versatile. That was that to me was the biggest attraction as to when the Giants drafted him. I was big into it, man. I am 34, Baruch, but I'm a Giants, Knicks, and Mets fan, so that should explain why I got some grays. I blame the Giants why you have gray hair. That's what I just said, Great Wuda. That's what I just said. And since I can't get a haircut, it stands out even more, man. How long is Reed going to I would guess at least another 5-6 years, because Reed's got an opportunity here to pick up 2-3 more Super Bowls with Pat Mahomes. I think he's got at least 5 more 6 years of coaching in him. But guys, it's 10. Yeah, we'll go. Like I said, we'll go to 11:15. But thank you to everybody for being here, man. I really appreciate it. You guys are phenomenal. You guys are the best supporters on YouTube. Could never say it enough. And yeah, I'm having a lot of fun, man. Having a lot of fun talking Giants football with you, hanging out with you guys. Let's see what we got here. The player that I'm most excited to watch is Jeremy Chin. Jeremy Chin was a guy that a lot of people liked this year. Yeah. The greatest player ever is Willie Mays. Definitely. Definitely the greatest. I'm not saying Trout's the greatest yet, but over the first 8-9 years of his career, he's in the discussion. Love the videos. Look forward to and talking Giants content every day. Revolution, man, I appreciate you for being here, man. Thank you for being a great supporter of the channel. You're going to see, I know I've been doing like an every other day type thing with the videos because I don't want to force feed content. You're going to get it every day very soon. I promise you that. And you'll be getting a lot of live streams. So just stick with the channel, man. And I appreciate you, man, for supporting it, man. I appreciate that, Flex Lopez, man. My hair is white because of the Giant. Great Wuda. Yeah, I'm sure it is, man. A lot of people don't have hair. You're either gray like me or bald like Bad Dog if you're a Giant fan. Even if you're like a newborn baby. If you got a Giants jersey on, you're gray. Babe Ruth is the GOAT. I can't really argue that, Andy Garcia. The way he dominated his era, there's not much to debate there. If the Giants win the Super Bowl, can you dye your hair blue? Jared, you know what? You guys have my promise, and it's only for this year. I'm not going into 2021 because 2021 is more realistic. I'm not going into 2022. If the New York Giants, you could screen record this right now, you could tape it, I would gladly. If the Giants won the Super Bowl this year, I will dye my hair blue for at least 2 weeks. It will be Giants blue for 2 weeks. You got my word. There you go. If the Giants win the Super Bowl, I'll have blue hair. I promise. And I won't wear a hat. When I go out, I will, but not on YouTube. Let's see what we got here. The Mets have caused a lot of our boldness. Chris, I want to see another Victor Cruz this year. You think any of No, I do not. I do not think I don't think we have a Victor Cruz on this team. I get asked that a lot too. Victor Cruz is a once in a 30-year type, situation. An undrafted free agent that burst onto the scene and is one of the top 5 wide receivers in football that year. I do not see it. Ryan Conley, Lorenzo Carter, Blake Martinez, Kyle Fackrell, Marcus Golden will make the best linebackers group in the NFL. Stanley, I love your optimism. I think you might be drinking a little bit, but I hope you're right, and I hope I'm wrong. But I love your optimism. And I do love a lot of the players you just stated. I do think they could be really good. We'll see. That's all I can say, man. But thank you to everybody for being here. The more I think about it, the more I like Allen. I know you want Allen Robinson. What are you most excited to see or looking forward to when the pads come on tomorrow? Casey, just in training camp in general, the things that I'm really going to be interested in are the battles. One, I want to see, obviously, Daniel Jones. We're all excited to see what they say about Daniel Jones, how he's throwing the football, how he's evolving into this new offense. That's obviously going to be one of the big things I'm going to be looking at when I read the reports and everything else. But obviously, the battles, the slot corner, the outside cornerback number 2, the center position, the tackle position. How's Andrew Thomas doing? Is there any insight to the type of offense that they're running? Stuff like that. Special teams, kick returner, things like that. Who's getting the reps where? Who's getting the first team reps? Who's getting the second team reps? Stuff like that. But mainly the cornerback position, Daniel Jones, center, how Nick Gates is doing over there, the right tackle spot. Stuff like that, man. Could have one of the best secondaries in a couple of years. I agree with that, Ian. I agree with that. 2-3 years, we definitely could have a very good secondary. Even next year, we could have a very good secondary. This year, I still think we're a work in progress, but we've got young talent. What's everyone's favorite superhero? Oh, man. I'm going to go my favorite superhero. Ooh. That's a good one. I I'll go with Spider-Man. I was always a big Spider-Man fan growing up. I'll go with Spider-Man. Yeah, it's classic. A lot to look forward to let's go, champ, man. I can't wait. I cannot wait for the future of this team, man. Can't wait, man. But you got to enjoy it. You got to enjoy the growing process. We're going to get there. I promise you guys. We're getting there. We're going to get back to where Giants football belongs. And Giants football belongs at the top of the NFC East. We haven't been there in a long time. I'm not telling you it's going to happen this year. I'm not going to guarantee it's going to happen the year after that. But I like what the Giants are building. I think they're going to get there. They're going to get there. I really believe that in my heart. And maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe I'll look like a fool. But I do think the Giants are building something here. I really do. And I think we're going to be good for a while after we get to where we need to be. Any shows you recommend to watch? Umbrella Academy. I've recommended that to you guys now every stream. If you haven't watched Umbrella Academy, I don't know what you're doing with your life. If you like Netflix shows, watch it now. Turn off the stream. Watch it right now. Umbrella Academy. Fantastic. Yeah, man. Yeah, Lloyd, man. I appreciate that, man. Lloyd, man, I'm glad to see you here, man. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're staying safe there, man. My favorite villain, Joker. Easy. Joker. Not close. Yeah, Taco, the Mets are not good. The Mets are not good, man. The Honeymooners. It's definitely a classic. I haven't seen The Flash yet. Did The Flash come out? Did they make a show? I know I've seen maybe the movie hasn't come out yet. Whatever. Yeah, they made the show. They haven't made the movie yet. Let's see what we got here. Watch Chris lose 300 people by. Hey man, I wouldn't blame him. We're gonna end the stream in 15 minutes anyway. I wouldn't blame him to go and watch it. The show's great. Yeah, I love it. Umbrella Academy is awesome. It's friggin' awesome. 3 more likes. Yeah, let's get those likes up to 200, guys. I appreciate everybody for being here. Thomas Hernandez, Gates, Lemieux, Parrott is the future. Agreed. That should be, based on where we drafted him. If Parrott works out, if he's worthy of that 99th overall selection, that should be our offensive line going forward in 2022. That's when I think Lemieux will get that job. I think we get one more year with Zeitler. Mets game. I might, Nick. I haven't decided yet. We'll see. Maybe I'll do it. I'll probably do it. I'll probably suffer. I'll probably do the Met game tomorrow. I'll probably do one game a series until such time they get on a streak. Greatest of all time is... not close, Johnny. Not close. Why is Umbrella Academy so awesome? Here's the thing with Umbrella Academy. First off, watch the trailer. But if I tell you a lot about it, it's kind of one of those shows where you got to watch it. Like, if I give you some of the description about the show, it's going to ruin the show for you. Because every show, you're, like, learning something new. I don't know how better to describe it, but it's a superhero show. It's awesome. They're trying to prevent the end of the world. There's talking monkeys. These kids got it's great. It's fantastic. Watch it. Would the entertainer steer you wrong? There you go. You got my stamp of approval. Sadan says, tomorrow I watch the Umbrella Academy. Do it, man. Chris, do you think you have a new wide receiver do you think we will have a new wide receiver next year or the following year? I think next year we're going to get one. I don't know if it'll be a first-round pick. I don't know if it'll be a free agent. But I think they'll draft. If they don't pick one up in free agency, like a wide receiver of significance, I think they'll pick one up in the draft, whether it's the second or the third round. I think next year they'll add another wide receiver to the mix. And there's a chance Tate will be cut. Even though I think Tate, let's talk about Golden Tate for a second. I think Tate is perhaps the most underrated player on this team. I really mean that. And but the reason is because he's not a part of the future. He's not going to be here when we get good. He's kind of a stopgap wide receiver. But Golden Tate was good last year. And I know Golden Tate got suspended. Golden Tate was good. His yards per catch were the highest he's ever had. He was used more on the outside. You can move him around. He's got sure hands. He's great at breaking tackles. He's one of the best yak receivers in the game. Golden Tate's still a good wide receiver. Don't get it twisted. If Golden Tate played 16 games last year, he's got damn near 1,000 yards. He had 6 touchdowns in just 12 games. Golden Tate's a good wide receiver. I believe in Tate. I think he's a good wide receiver. Mets probably could be a good AAA team. Oh, Blue Collar's rubbing it in, man. Blue Collar's rubbing it in. Giants probably should have taken Jerry Jeudy. No, we couldn't take Jerry Jeudy. Great Wood. I mean, I know maybe you like the wide receivers, and I get it. We need them. Wide receivers don't do you any good if you can't block. They can't run their routes. We had to take the Molly. Believe me, Wood. I wouldn't steer you wrong. We had to take the Molly. We'll get the wide receiver next year. We had to take the hog. I've never gone skydiving. I've never gone skydiving. 100% 10 would steer me wrong. Nate, watch the show. I guarantee you'll like it. I guarantee it if you're into Netflix shows. Do you think the Dolphins have a shot at the playoffs, Mikey says? I do. I do think they have a shot. I don't think it's a good one. I don't believe in them yet. But, yeah, they have a shot because here's what I'll say. The Jets suck now. I was a believer in the Jets being improved, but the Jets lost their 2 best defensive players. You're better than the Jets. You could split with the Patriots. You do it anyway when they have Tom Brady. And maybe the Patriots won't be that good this year. We'll see. I still think they'll be competitive. But I see you going at least 3-3 in the AFC East. I don't know your schedule outside of that. I know the Jets play a challenging schedule, so I would assume you do too. I don't think you're winning that division. I think the Bills are definitely a better team. But yeah, I could see you guys winning like 8 games, maybe sneaking in. I'm not picking it, but I could see it. I got you guys more around 6. Riley, man, thanks so much for love. He says, you have to see HBO's The Pacific Best World. I have not seen that, Riley. I've not seen that. I am a fan of war shows. I've not seen that one yet, though. I'll have to check that out. But thanks for the recommendation, man. Shows I've seen so far. I've seen Lucifer. I've seen like 8. I've been binge watching so many. The Punisher. The Punisher was awesome. Watch The Punisher if you haven't. The Punisher was awesome on Netflix. You got it, Mikey, man. Dolphins acquire all their players through free agency and don't. Yeah, I'll say this about the Dolphins, Ian. I don't like the. I loved their plan up until free agency this year. I loved it. I thought that they were doing it the right way. They completely overhauled the roster. They brought in a ton of draft picks. I loved it. I love the direction that they were going in. I love Brian Flores. I don't like what they did in free agency this year. I just don't. I don't think that they're a team that's ready to compete yet. Now, I understand it because you want to help out Tua, right? Because Tua's going to take over that job at some point this year if all goes according to plan. Maybe he'll sit out the whole year. Maybe it'll be Fitzpatrick, but more than likely. And you want Tua to have some pieces around him to be able to excel. But I don't like what they did this year. I would have waited to splurge for maybe another year, maybe 2 more years, till that team gets to where it needs to be. That I didn't agree with. But outside of that, I loved what the Dolphins were doing. Benjamin, thanks for love. He says, the Mets lost and you didn't stream. I thought it only happened when you stream. What kind of ketchup brand do you? I'm a Heinz guy. I'm not much of a Hunt guy. I'm a Heinz guy. What about coffee shop? Do you drink it black or with cream and sugar? It depends. Sometimes I'll drink it black. Sometimes I'll drink it with the cream and sugar. I usually go black, actually. I used to go a lot with the cream and sugar. I go more black now. I don't mind it black. A lot of people do. I like it black. That Austin Jackson pick was a reach. Oh, yeah, that was a reach. Nobody had him going that early. That was definitely a reach from the Dolphins. What was it, 25? But I like what the Dolphins did outside of free agency this year. I was not a fan of what they did. But maybe I'll be proven wrong. Maybe they'll be great. All of it's going to depend on Tua. Punisher wasn't the Punisher. Listen, I'm not a huge comic book guy. I watch the movies. I like the Punisher show. I thought it was cool. I'm not saying it was great, but it was enjoyable. Don't forget the chair spin. I'll do it. 11:15. We'll get one more chair spin before we close it out. I usually like to do the chair spin for the Met games because it's slow. I want to kind of dedicate to the questions about the Giants. But yeah, I'll definitely give him one on the way out. Man, Benjamin's the man. I hope he's feeling better. You picking between the Mets and my single A school. Oh God, Nate. Nate loves to rub in the Met. He loves to rub it in. And Nate, I cannot wait until the New York Mets in 30 years are good. Because in 30 years, when I'm 64 and I'm in a wheelchair, hopefully I'm not in a wheelchair by then, but when I'm 64 and I'm bald and the Mets are good, you're going to hear about it. In 30 years, I promise you, if I'm still on YouTube, you are going to hear about it. Okay, Nate? But thank you for being here. I appreciate it, man. Did you see that Burton Burns had to say about Elijah Penny? Only good. I love Burton Burns. I love that they're going to use the fullback more this year. I am a huge fan about that. I talk about that every week. During the regular season last year. We got to use more I formation. We got to use more offset I. Last year, the Giants only ran the I formation 11% of the time. I am super excited to see the Giants get back to that, use Elijah Penny in that role. I'm super excited about that. Let's see what we got here. Chris, Ozark is great from what I've heard. I haven't seen it yet. Everybody tells me to watch Ozark. That'll probably be my next show that I dive into. Probably the next one. And there's my movie channel. I appreciate that, man. Thank you very much. You're a mod. You're good now. If KP said Simon Z's awesome. Simon Z definitely deserves the mod. What's the Bears' schedule? I don't know the Bears' schedule off the top of my head, but I don't know. But I like the Bears more than most. I'll say that. I like the Bears more than most. I know you play us. You play us week 2. So definitely tune into. I think that'll be on Bad Dog's channel because I'm getting week 1. But tune into our stream. We're gonna be calling against your Chicago Bears. But I think the Bears could be better than a lot of people think. I don't think they're going to be a bottom 2 or 3 team. I see a lot of people saying that. They still got a good defense, but it's going to come down to Foles. Foles has to be better. Blue, man, thanks so much. Blue's the man. He says, you should watch Entertainment Talking Movies on YouTube. Greg totally steals that show. Do you think we can get a fan pick once a month? You guys have to review 29th Street. Blue Collar, man, first off, I want to say thank you so much for love, man. We're going to start doing that. I love that recommendation. Once we start, and there's the second chair spin. Oh, you knew it was coming. Once we start, getting a lot more movie content up on the page, Blue Collar, I love that idea of getting more interactive with some of my best subscribers. I absolutely love that idea. Yeah, for sure. We'll do that once a week. We'll have a stream, and we'll let you, the viewer, pick out the movie that we're going to review that week, an old school movie, whatever it is. We're going to get a lot more content up on the page once movies start coming up. But I love that suggestion, Blue Collar. Awesome. And you'll be the first one. We'll do it in like a month once we start really focusing on that channel more. Definitely. And Benjamin, man, thank you so much For the love, man. Yeah, we'll give you 3 more spins. We'll give you 3 more spins. You knew he was gonna do it. Read Simon Z's comment at Kristaps Porzingis. Let me take a quick look there. Poor KP. I don't know what he said. But thank you guys for being here. I really do appreciate it, man. When I get a mod, I'll post your links like crazy, MMKG says. MMKG, you're getting a mod real soon. You've been a phenomenal subscriber of mine for a really long time. You just changed your name, but you're always in my streams. You're always one of the first to comment on my videos. You're going to get a mod very soon. I'm trying to slow it down a little bit, but you know you're going to get one. But still 330 people in here, man. You guys are ridiculous, man. You guys are phenomenal. I friggin' love you guys, man. I do. I love everything that you guys mean to my channel. I can't say thank you enough, man. I can't believe the support that you guys show me every week, man. I try to show my appreciation. I try to be as humble as I can. I'm even willing to do chair spins to make myself look like an ass to give you guys a good laugh. Benjamin, man, no, all kidding aside, man, you're a phenomenal supporter of my channel, so thank you. Thank you, Cushmaster. Chris, I said when you go black, you never go back. Black coffee. It's true. Simon, I don't know about with women, but with coffee, it's facts. It's facts. I have that. I'll go with the cream and sugar once in a while, but usually I drink it black. Am I going to Riley? You'll just keep showing up. You'll definitely, like I said though, I'm limiting it. I'm trying to do because I've had 2 instances now with the mods where they've infiltrated and they've blocked people. They haven't been able to comment. They haven't been able to go on streams. So I'm trying to limit it to like 1 or 2 a month. But keep showing up. You'll get one. MMKG's been with my channel since near the beginning. He literally comments on every video. He should already have one. But he'll get one very soon. But yeah, just keep coming, man. Johnny needs one too, by the way. I got to give Johnny one too. Johnny's awesome. I appreciate that, Don Biz, man. Thank you very much, man. Yo, chat, we only got 2. Yeah, get those likes up, Nate. I appreciate that, Nate, man. Andy, you got to try it, man. Nate says, you know what? In 30 years after the Yankees have won their 40th World Series title, I'll be right there with you cheering on the Mets to do literally anything. Nate, I'm warning you right now. In 30 years, when the Mets win the National League East, I'm coming on YouTube and I am ringing you out. I'm just going to have to wait 30 years. But in 30 years, I'm going to get you, man. I'm going to get you. And MMKG, man, I appreciate the love, man. Once you go Tanner, you never feel the same. You're awesome, man. Are you this professional off stream? Be honest. I mean, I think I'm not. Yeah, I don't think I'm like a douchebag off stream. Yeah, I think what you get. I mean, I think that's why people like my channel for the most part. At least that's what I think. I think that has something to do with my success. I think I come across pretty authentic. This is pretty much who I am. I'll be the first to say when I first started YouTube, I wasn't myself. I wasn't natural on camera. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And then I just said, you know what? I'm just going to be me. This is me. This is me. If you meet me in person, this is me. Yes. Johnny, man, thanks so much for the love, man. I appreciate it. He says, one of my favorite movies is The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, mainly because I think the lead girl is super... Oh, God, she's smoking. I like crazy psycho girls with massive issues and lots of tattoos. That you might want to see a therapist for, or maybe she needs to see a therapist. But, yeah, she's hot. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo is actually really good, and... if I remember correctly, the sequel was really good too. But yeah, that movie that was a trilogy if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I was a fan of that movie as well. Gone Girl was good too, which is kind of similar to that. Gone Girl with Ben Affleck I really like too. But Johnny, man, thanks for the love, man. I hope you get home safe. You said you come back to the East Coast for a bit. Have you ever watched Degrassi? I have not. My sister used to. I think maybe I saw an episode or 2 here and there, but no, that was kind of after I was kind of too old when that show started getting popular. But I know about it. I think Drake was on that show, right? Wasn't Drake on that show? Dead on accurate in that. And thank you for the Instagram, man. I appreciate that. You seem like a pro. Well, Roldy, man. I appreciate that, man. Roldy's friggin' awesome, too. I don't know if I shouted him out. I know I've answered some of his questions. Roldy's one of the coolest guys on my channel. We talk on Twitter every once in a while. Really great supporter of mine. And he's a Long Islander. What's not to like? He's a Long Islander, formerly from Brooklyn. Y'all just can't figure out the bats out for summer. We can't figure out anything when it comes to the Mets. Chris Senorita's popping in. He's in time for the spins. We're going to do 2 spins at the end of it, Senor. We're closing this out in about 5 minutes, but you guys have been unfreaking believable. Sincere Blue says Jabril Peppers will have a hell of a season. From your lips to God's ears. I'm with you, man. I'm super stoked for Jabril Peppers. I think he's going to have a big year. He played well last year. He had that, I think it was a pick 6, right? And he fits the scheme perfectly. If he's healthy, I think Peppers is going to play really well. Now, he may have some challenges if we play him at the corner spot. We'll see, but I like Peppers a lot. I like his versatility. I don't know if he's in the long-term plans, but he's definitely going to be a Giant here for the next 2 years, and I'm with you. I think Peppers is going to have a big year for the Giants. I think him and Bradbury are our 2 best players going in, and maybe Leonard Williams and Dexter Lawrence. Those are probably our 4 best players on defense. But, yeah, I'm a big Peppers guy this year. I like Peppers a lot. Yeah, it's Moose. Yeah, it's Moose. Moose is always in my streams. He's always supported my channel. Oh, you want the Oz? Oh, God. All these people are going to see these stupid Oz share spins. All right. Ironically, when I said that about the Mets, I was talking to Mike about the Blue Jays. Same applies for the Mets, too, Nate. Peppers and Dwayne Haskins, duo of the future. Okay. Guys, it's 3 spins. Guys, I just want to say thank you so much for all the love, all the support. Thank you guys for being the best supporters on YouTube. Benjamin, I hope everything's going well with you. We are going to close out the stream. I'm going to give you 3 chair spins as Benjamin paid for it. I'm a man of my word. You give me chair spins, you get them. So, man, thank you so much for the love. Thank you to everybody for being here. Thank you guys for asking all the great questions. Thank you guys for everything that you do for my channel. I'll have some videos out, at least 1 tomorrow. Maybe we'll have 2, depending on what comes out. But I'm sure there's going to be news on training camp. I'll definitely have a video out on that. I'll be doing a lot more Giants Q&A live streams in the future. Being that the season's coming up, expect at least one a week. Once the season gets into the fold, we're going to have the subscriber live streams. We're going to have the normal Q&As. We're going to have the Talking Giants. We're going to have the post-game live streams. We're going to be live. That's the moral of the story when it comes to the New York Giants, and you're going to have a ton of videos. So, guys, thank you for all the love. Thank you for all the support, and let's do the chair spins. Here we go. All right, you want the Oz? Ah! There's a double spin for you. 2 more. Ah! There you go. And the final one. We'll do a wee. Whee! There you go, Benjamin, man. Thank you so much for the love. Word. He says, take it easy. Have a good night. You as well, my man. Thank you to everybody for being here. Ernesto, you have a great night. Love all you guys. I'll see you guys soon. I'll have a video up tomorrow. You guys are awesome. And we'll talk soon. Have a great night, guys. Have a great night, everybody.